A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Unsolved Mysteries. Out of deference to people who may still be living, character names in some of these true unsolved mysteries have been changed. Tonight's unsolved mystery deals with the efforts of a man long dead who returned from the beyond to atone for an act of carelessness that cost the lives of 50 persons. It is a tale told by many a railroad man when winds are high and rushing torrents test the strength of trestle bridges. The scene is the observation car on one of America's cracked trains. A group of people lay aside their cards to listen to an argument between two men. One a doctor, the other a world traveler. The doctor pauses to light his cigar as the train thunders over a suspension bridge.
I'm sorry, old man, to appear stubborn on the point, but in all my experiences as a doctor, I've never known of a single instance in which anyone has returned from the grave either for love or for hate.
But surely you're not going to ignore the findings of other people just because you yourself never had any experience?
We doctors are practical men. We have to be. Our patients' lives depend upon our diagnosis of things as they are. And as we find them, not as we'd like to have them or as someone else believes.
At the same time, Doctor, you've certainly heard of cases where even doctors have declared their patients dead, only to have them return to life again.
I deny that they returned to life. They merely were not dead.
Then the doctor who declared the patient dead was wrong.
Yes.
So that you admit that doctors are not always right. And these doctors who insist that there is nothing after death are just as liable to be wrong on that score as there are in other instances. In other words, doctor, the man who says, I won't believe what I can't see or feel or weigh, is merely an egoist who considers that no one's opinion is worthwhile but his own.
That's pretty strong, isn't it?
I don't think it is. You as a doctor are called in to diagnose a case, and you've never had a case of scarlet fever before, we'll say. But you can diagnose it, can't you?
Certainly.
It's simply because you're relying upon the experience of other doctors. Yet you refuse to accept the experiences of others outside your own profession. And that's a perfectly good argument, but not for ghosts. Ghosts are things very often heard of, but very seldom seen. I'll believe in one when I see one. There are, 14 people in this observation car, and not one of them ever saw a ghost.
I'm sorry, but I'll have to contradict you on that.
Really?
Well.
You've actually seen a ghost?
I have.
You spoke to it? You know it wasn't an hallucination?
I wasn't alone. At least 10 other people saw it.
That could be a simple case of mass hypnotism.
You think that simple is the word to use in connection with mass hypnotism? However, let that pass. I didn't know it was a ghost until some time afterwards, so I wasn't influenced by anything.
Well, let's hear about it.
All right. I might as well explain that I'm one of the officers of this railroad line. And one night, several members of the board of directors were on the same run, going to inspect a new bridge. It was a windy, blustery night. Driving rain, as black as ink. Our sympathies were with old Tom Ludicott and his firemen up in the cab. There, with nothing but the narrow sides of the cab to protect them from the storm.
Give her more coal, Bill. We've got the Bonner Grade ahead of us.
Let her wheels slip when we start taking that, baby. Never did see such a night. You gotta watch you don't get blown out of the cab every time you cross the coupler to the tender.
Yeah, she's a bad one, all right. Been on many a trip in my 40 years as engineer, but this is the worst. How are we, on time?
Only 11 minutes late.
Well, that's pretty good for the sort of night it is. Let him beat her. We're coming to a bad cut in the road, and the wind will be twice as bad as we go through the draw.
Okay, Tom. Man alive, this firebox is glowing red with the heat. We've gained 2 minutes, Tom.
Good.
She's holding up fine. The way we're rocking, though, it's hard to read that water glass.
Bill!
Yeah?
Look!
What?
Is that a light? A red light?
Yeah. Somebody's waving a lantern.
Cut the steam!
Easy with the brakes. We're doing over 60.
Stay tuned. More of this Unsolved Mysteries coming up right after this break. And now, back to Unsolved Mysteries on When Radio Was.
What's wrong there?
Danger light, sir.
Where? Oh, yes, I'll go ahead.
Plunging through the rain and mud, John Stewart steps out along the roadbed. Ahead, he sees dimly in the light of the engine headlights a vague, shadowy figure holding a glowing red lantern.
Ahoy there! What's wrong?
The silent figure gives no answer, but motions with the lantern to the yawning chasm where had been a bridge. John Stewart stares horror-stricken at the foaming, tumbling waters of the raging torrent in the gorge below.
We might have plunged in there. We would have if it hadn't been for you.
You will tell them?
Tell them?
The company will mark it on my credit. Say that the company will mark it up for me.
I don't quite understand you. You're one of the company men?
Yes, that's right. I'm one of the old hands. I helped to lay this road there.
And your name?
Lem Turner. You tell them when you get back that Lem kept his word. Tell him to give me credit and let me rest. I've waited a long time. A long time.
I'll see that you get your credit. I'm John Stewart.
John Stewart? The vice president of the line.
Yes.
Then they'll do what you tell them. They'll do it. You see that I get credit.
I will. Personally.
John Stewart stumbled back to the train to tell the crew and passengers of the death they had missed.
What is it, sir?
Wait a minute. The bridge is out. We'll have another train sent out and reroute you over the Bonner section. There's no use to stand out here and get wet. The porters will make up the berths, and we'll wait till morning.
Well, who was it waving the lantern? I thought it must be Southey. He's on this section, but he's on the other side of the bridge.
No, it wasn't him. It was a queer old duck by the name of Lem Turner.
Lem Turner?
Yes. He said he was an old employee.
Old employee? Why, sir.
What's the matter? He looks sick.
Old Lem Turner's been dead 22 years.
What?
Yeah, hanged himself because he overran a signal and wrecked number 23.
Then the man I saw wasn't...
Lem always said that he'd come back and repay his debt, and I guess he has.
Yes, I guess he has.
In just a few minutes, you will hear a solution to the Bonner Bridge mystery. Ladies and gentlemen, inasmuch as any solution must of necessity be supposition, liberties of time, place, and character have been taken in the solution for which you have been waiting. Again, we're aboard the cracked train in the observation car where John Stewart continues his story.
Well, when I got back to the office, I had old Tom, the engineer, tell me the story. It seems that Lem Turner had overrun a signal, and the result was a wreck in which 50 people were killed.
He was charged with the offense?
Yes. But before he could be brought to trial, he killed himself. His friends and fellow workers said the last thing he had said to them was that he would repay the debt.
Had he been sent along the stretch of line before?
Oh, yes. Old Tom told me that all the men in the section knew about Lem's haunting the line, and I naturally asked him why he hadn't reported it.
What did he say to that?
He asked me what I would have said had he come in and reported a ghost haunting a railroad section. Well, I admitted the justice of his attitude, and then I went deeply into a possible explanation of the thing.
You found what?
That the best scientific authority explained the thing by saying that since Lem Turner's last thoughts were to the effect that he must atone for his carelessness, in all probability, his very definite and extraordinarily powerful thought lingered on after death.
Oh, almost like the photograph of a thought.
Exactly. Now, this thought, powerful and positive and definitely connected with what Lem looked like in life, accounts for his so-called ghost being seen haunting that section of railroad line.
It gives one the shivers, doesn't it? Imagine Lem Turner somewhere off in space, year after year, watching for an opportunity to repay his debt. Then the storm and the bridge.
I must go down by the old track. Can't tell what might happen on a night like this. The bridge is out. Number 16 due in a few minutes. There she comes. I must stop her. A light. A red light. I must stop her. I must.
This is Walter O'Keefe, inviting you to listen in on the Nightline. Tonight, live the incredible life of ages yet to come, in a time that might be 1,000,000 years from now, on X-1. Now, an incredible story of the world beyond.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Haunted Corpse by Frederick Pohl. But first, hear this.
Whenever you want things to be just right, be it here or there or day or night,
you make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X-1 and the story of The Haunted Corpse.
We moved in at 0800. That's pretty good time, considering that Van Pelt turned up at the Pentagon on Thursday, and it took until Monday morning to go in and see the general. By Tuesday, I had a task force of 135 men bivouacked around the old man's place. Corporal McCabe, my orderly, reported mission accomplished.
Well, Colonel, there's a whole company dug in down the road right yonder, and Williams is all set up right here like you done ordered. We got a copy of them recon cars from the cavalry roaming like a passel of June bugs quartering a handkerchief.
McCabe isn't very bright, but he's loyal. Well, about 9 in the morning, the old man woke up. I suppose the firing at the auxiliary pistol range I set up got him out of bed.
Get out of here. Go on, you. Get those trucks off my lawn. Get out!
Dr. Horn.
Oh, what is this, the Boy Scout Jamboree? Are you the scoutmaster?
Dr. Horn, I am Lieutenant Colonel Windermere, sir. My orders are to establish a security cordon about your laboratories.
What?
Here you are, sir, my copy of your orders.
What the devil is this nonsense?
You will see they are signed by General Follansby himself.
I know. That sniveling rat Van Pelt. He went to the Army, is that it? That mountainous, ungrateful tub of rancid lard went crawling into Washington and ratted to some tin soldier.
Sir, General Follinsby is not a tin soldier.
Is that it? Did Dick Van Pelt come to you with some cock and bull story? The chicken-livered, worm-eaten, misbegotten offspring
Dr. Horn, the General asked me to give you his personal assurance that we will not interfere in your work here. But I'm sure you understand the importance of security.
Now, you listen to me. The Horn effect is my personal property, not the government's or the Army's. What is this, creeping socialism?
Sir, security. My orderly isn't cleared.
Oh, that don't make no never mind, Colonel. I don't rightly grasp what he's saying nohow.
McCabe, report to my tent.
Oh, just when it's getting interesting.
Now, Dr. Horn, I want you to know that I'm here to help you. If there's anything you want, just ask me. If you want to go into town, that can be arranged. Of course, you'd better give us 24-hour notice so we can clear the streets and check out all...
Young man?
Yes, sir.
You may go to the devil.
Of course, he went in to call the Pentagon and protest. He had a lot of spirit for an old civilian of about 75.
Hello? This is Dr. Eric Horn. I want to protest an invasion of my privacy.
Of course, Dr. Horn, I understand.
There's an officious young Cub Scout out at my place making a pet of himself. A lieutenant something.
Lieutenant Colonel Windermere.
But I called Washington.
Yes, sir, but our intercept monitor put the call through to me. We'll take care of any outside calls you wish to make.
Of all the insufferable...
At about 0600 the next morning, I ran a surprise full-scale inspection and simulated infiltration.
Hey, look out! You trigger-happy idiots! It's me, McCabe! And you simulated! You hear?
Fortunately, he was only grazed. The wire-stringing detail worked all night, and we had surrounded the old Victorian house with triple-strand electrified barbed wire with guard towers every 50 feet. At 1400, I paid a call on Dr. Horn.
What are you doing here?
Good afternoon, Dr. Horn. I came in for your report.
My what?
Your daily progress report. It's in my orders. Paragraph 8. Just carry on, sir. Corporal McCabe will take your words down. Oh, his clearance came through last night. You have a method for electronically killing a man without touching him.
Killing, Lieutenant? Will you tell me what in the sweet name of heaven did I say that gave you that particularly stupid notion? But I understand. You think this is a weapon.
Of course, sir.
Of course. My machine renders humans into corpses. A chipped flint will also do that. Look, you simpleton, don't you realize what my machine can do? It can separate that something which, added to a body, produces a man. A subtracted leaves a corpse. I can separate the two things without destroying them. You understand that I can take the ghost of life out of a body and keep it unharmed. Try to understand that, you pig-headed, mule-eared, rabbit-faced...
You're listening to The Haunted Corpse, tonight's attraction on X-1. You know, the property value of your home depends on the well-being of your community and your neighborhood. On things like good lighting for your streets, accessible parks and playgrounds, and cleaning up slums. And what others are doing, you can do. In Michigan, a city group launched Operation Bootstrap to rehabilitate houses, clean up slums, and interest everyone in better living standards. In Pennsylvania, a local real estate board surveyed every property in town, got 500 improved and 50 hopeless slums torn down. So help clean up slums and keep up your own home as well. To help keep your community sound, get into Action. Action is a national organization designed to help you protect the well-being of your community. For free information on your particular problem, write to Action, Box 20, Radio City Station, New York 20, New York. Now, back to X-1 and The Haunted Corpse.
I terminated the interview and went back to headquarters to prepare my situation analysis. Van Pelt, all 300 pounds of him, was waiting for me. He was eating a can of sea ration with a knife.
He's perfectly sane, Colonel, but he's dangerous. Very dangerous.
You've got to protect me, absolutely.
Van Pelt, I want the straight dope on Horn. Now, what is this ghost business?
Oh, that. That's just his way of putting it. You see, care to join me in a can of beans?
No, thank you.
Well, there's a difference between a living man and a dead man, and that difference is what Dr. Horn whimsically calls a ghost. Call it life plus intelligence plus soul, if there is such a word in your lexicon, Colonel.
You mean his machine conjures up ghosts?
No, Colonel. Dr. Horn is an impossible old vulture, but he's not a faker. Horn can drain the essence of life from a body and store it, or if he wishes, he can replace them in another body. Would you mind handing me the can opener? This looks interesting. Macaroni and beef. Supper ration.
Well, so he had a machine that could take a mind out of one body and put it in another body. Well, why didn't he say so straightforwardly instead of beating around the bush like a civilian? Of course, he was a civilian, which might explain it. Next morning, I went to the laboratory with Corporal McCabe and insisted on a demonstration.
All right, this way, gentlemen.
Please, Corporal McCabe is an enlisted man.
At this pole, we have a Cocker Spaniel. And over here, a Rhode Island Red.
That's a right perky-looking chicken, Doc.
If you will kindly stay clear of the terminal areas, I will activate the field.
What's happening?
The field is vibrating at the cycloid rate set on the crystals. All right, it's ready for discharge. Now.
Well?
Watch. Here, Rover. Here, boy. Here, boy.
Hey, that ain't no hound. That's the chicken.
I know. Here, Rover.
Well, I'll be pickled for an eel. That little old chicken is trying to wag its tail.
And over here. Here, chick, 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 chicky. Here, chick, 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 chick.
Well, doggone. I never did see it like that. A flop-eared, honest-to-Pete dog trying to peck corn.
I had a private conference with the old man later. Under Section K of my security regulations, I moved on my own initiative.
Well, Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Colonel, there is a slight difference.
Well?
Now, can you do this with people?
Indeed I can. But the silly laws covering these things, they won't let me. I've tried. Imagine a simple exchange. A man dying of terminal cancer and a feeble-minded youth. Put the sound mind into the sound body and let the decayed parts rot together. But will they let me? No.
You've never tried the machine on people?
No. But you're here, a military man, Very brave. All I need is a volunteer. That coward Van Pelt refused. That's why he sneaked off to you. But a brave soldier like you...
Negative, sir. Negative.
But, Lieutenant...
Negative, sir. And besides, I am not a lieutenant. I'm a field-grade officer. I don't believe you appreciate the investment the service has made in my training. However, if you need volunteers, the Army has a way of obtaining volunteers, sir. We'll see what we can do. Actually, it was easy. First, there was a boy from Maine awaiting court-martial on an AWOL charge. Second, he volunteered when I pointed out he could get up to a year at hard labor. And then McCabe.
Oh, no, Colonel, sir. I ain't a volunteer in time.
Well, McCabe, I have been asked to recommend a non-com for infantry assignment in the Aleutian Islands.
Infantry?
Yes. Advance Rifle Platoon Scout.
The Aleutians?
In the winter.
Colonel, sir, I begs to report you have found a volunteer, namely I.
Dr. Horn had arranged the terminus of the machine poles to be tapped into metal helmets which were adjusted on the heads of the two men.
This here reminds me of playing left tackle.
Ready, Lieutenant?
Ready.
But, Colonel, sir, maybe I better not try this. Well, I mean, I cancel my GI insurance.
The Aleutians?
Yes, sir, Colonel, sir. Well, goodbye.
The test was an anticlimax. It worked. McCabe, that is, McCabe's body, reported himself as Private Ethan Coffin in a broad down east dialect. I had Horn switch them back, and then I went back to my tent and put through a call. Crash priority.
General Fallon's be on a scrambler circuit, Colonel, sir.
All right. Now leave, McCabe. This is top secret.
They don't never tell me nothing. I swear it's worse than grade school.
Now, General.
Colonel!
Van Pelt, what's the idea of barging in? I'm making a top secret
You
call.
didn't let Horn make his test. You didn't.
Now, out, Van Pelt, out.
That's all he's been waiting for. You've got to listen to
McCabe!
him. Colonel!
Escort Mr. Van Pelt out. I was floating on a cloud of pure joy. I could see my eagles within my grasp. Maybe even a full star. I told the general my plan. Are you still there, sir? Oh, well, you see, we use the device for intelligence. Suppose someone way up top in their government should visit the United States. We switch him, put our own man in his body, you see? Or in wartime, take a few prisoners and put our men inside their bodies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can be available for a staff meeting at 0900. Yes, sir. General Windermere. Lieutenant General Windermere. Oh, why not? General of the Armies.
Colonel, sir.
Oh. What is it, McCabe?
That Mr. Van Pelt.
Listen, McCabe, next time I'm on the top secret scrambler to the Pentagon, don't you dare let anybody into the command tent.
No, sir, Colonel, sir. But this here Van Pelt.
I don't want to hear about him. Now let him cool his heels a while.
Well, he ain't. That is, he left.
Good.
But he carried on something frightful. He kept saying Mr. Horn wanted to live forever.
What?
Screwy, ain't it? That's what he said. He said all Horn was waiting on was to make a test on human beings. He said that he's going to grab the first man he runs into and steal his body. I think he is drunk or something.
McCabe, call a condition red alert.
Well, what for?
Don't argue. Oh, never mind. You go up to the laboratory and take Dr. Horn into custody. I'll give the alert. Now move. I could see it all immediately. I grabbed my sidearm and buckled it on. And I threw the switch that signaled a red alert throughout the unit. Just what you'd expect from a selfish civilian like Horn. He'd take an invention like this and use it to steal other people's bodies to prolong his own nearly senile existence in a younger body. And if that happened, there goes my General Star. Because he'd surely smash the machine and we'd never be able to trace him or switch him back, and we wouldn't know which body he stole. I was held up at the inner perimeter for 5 precious minutes while some idiot insisted on a password. I just happened to forget it, although I had issued it in the morning. Luckily, while I was swearing at him, I accidentally hit the right combination and let me through. Van Pelt had gone into the laboratory. I knew that. Probably to try to stop the old man, but the effect would be to supply him with a body. He'd have to swap immediately. He couldn't take the chance of a heart attack. I ran into the laboratory, my sidearm drawn. Horn! Dr. Horn! Tripped over a human body. Still warm. Dr. Horn. His cast-off cocoon. Abandoned. And then in front of me, I saw him. Van Pelt!
Too late! Too late!
Now, wait. Listen. Oh, McCabe, what happened to you? He slugged you, did he?
Too late!
Now, wait. Don't smash the machine. Van Pelt, I know it's really you, Dr. Horn, and Van Pelt's body. Now put down that gun.
Oh, smash it! Smash it!
Stop. Don't wreck the machine. Listen, Dr. Horn, I'll help you. I'll see you get a good, healthy body as long as you want it. Dr. Horn, think of the safety of our country. Think of security.
No, I'm not Doctor.
Who shot that? McCabe, put that pistol away, you fool! Oh, Horn. Dr. Horn, speak to me. Now, I know it's you in Van Pelt's body. Now speak to me, Dr. Horn. Oh, he's dead. McCabe, you simple-minded... Why did you kill him? Oh, everything is gone. My General Star, everything. All right, McCabe, report to your quarters. You'll get a court-martial that'll make your hair curl. I sat there in the wrecked laboratory and I almost cried. Everything gone, the machine, the brilliant mind that knew its secret. I looked at the corpse of Van Pelt that held the mind of Dr. Horn before that idiot McCabe had put a bullet through the brain and killed both. I could almost feel cheerful as I thought of the court-martial to come. It was at that moment that Sergeant O'Hare came in to tell me that McCabe wanted me on the telephone. I picked it up and waited to hear the miserable rat crawl and plead for mercy.
Colonel, sir, this here's Corporal McCabe.
McCabe, there is no use pleading for mercy. I trust you have managed to find your quarters. You're under arrest.
That's what I thought. I don't think I'll stay for the court-martial, Lieutenant. They bore me.
McCabe, but the voice. Dr. Horn.
Precisely, Lieutenant, precisely. Goodbye now. If a body meet a body coming through the... Goodbye, Lieutenant. Thanks for the body.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word about X-1 in a moment.
Have you ever asked yourself what this country's most important natural resource is? I'm Dorothy Olson, NBC Bandstand singing schoolteacher. Our most important resource? Well, you might consider it our mineral deposits, or our tremendous sources of water power, or maybe our great forests. Well, these are all very important natural resources, but there's one resource that's more important than all these combined. Our children. Don't neglect them or their educational facilities. Poor schools breed inadequate citizens for tomorrow. And another thing, keep your youngsters in tip-top shape so that they won't miss important school days. Dress them against the weather so they won't catch needless winter colds. Check their wardrobe as they go back to school this fall to be sure that they have plenty of the right kind of clothing. Remember, our children are this nation's most important natural resource. It's your job to protect their future as they go back to school this fall.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
From Hollywood, it's time now for... Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. This is Art Price, International Press Service.
Oh, holy smoke, Art. What are you doing up at this hour of the morning?
I'm on the night desk, and I'm sorry to have to wake you up.
So am I.
Listen, I just got a call, a real frantic one, from a guy who insisted on having your phone number.
Well, did you give it to him?
He said he's an insurance man, that it was about some insurance matter, so yes, I did.
Well, why'd he call you?
Yeah, that puzzles me too, but he was so excited, so frantic. Well, he probably called the first person he could think of. And he said it was a big emergency.
Oh, did he give you any details?
No. And Johnny, it's aroused my curiosity. Let me know what it's all about, will you?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Promise?
Okay, Art, promise.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. The State Unity Life Insurance Company, Home Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the ghost-to-ghost matter. I'd no sooner rolled over in the hope of getting back to sleep when the phone beside my bed started jangling again. Oh, nuts. Johnny Dollar.
This is Oscar H. Trimley, Mr. Dollar.
Trimley?
I represent State Unity Live here in Lake City, New Jersey.
Look, are you the man who called Art Price over at International Press Service?
Yes, I did get your phone number. I knew he'd have it, you're being such a famous investigator and all that.
Yeah, well, you could also have got it from Universal Adjustment Bureau, your insurance directory, the long-distance operator.
Oh, dear, I guess I've been so upset over this whole thing that it never occurred to me, but can you come down here to Lake City, Mr. Dollar, right away?
Well, it depends. What's this all about?
Ian McAndrews.
Who's Ian McAndrews?
Oh, don't you know, he's the man who founded Lake City.
So what's happened to him?
He's dead, Mr. Dollar, or rather, he isn't.
Huh?
Well, that is to say, he died, Mr. Dollar, about 5 years ago.
And?
Well, in due time, of course, we paid off the claim on his life insurance policy, $55,000. Everything in order and perfectly all right.
Well, then?
But now, oh no, Mr. Dollar, you just won't believe it unless you come here and see for yourself.
Oh, won't believe what?
Ian McAndrews has come back.
Huh?
Either he or his ghost has come back here.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true, sir. Ian McAndrews is haunting Lake City. So please come as quickly as you can.
I'll think about it.
Oh, dear. Is that the best answer you can give me?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, until I see how things line up for me these next couple of days. Goodbye, Mr. Trimley. Think about it. I can hardly wait to grab a train. But I didn't want Oscar Trimley to know that. Because I had a strong suspicion that if you can catch a ghost off guard, you'll be one up on him. Expense account item 1, the promised phone call to Art Price in International Press.
Are you kidding, Johnny?
No, I'm deadly serious, Art.
But a ghost in the little New Jersey.
Yep, I'll keep in touch. Then I remembered Nancy. Nancy Turner, an old flame, or rather, a young old flame. She'd said something one time about taking up investigation of the supernatural. So, expense account item 2, another dime for another call.
You old rascal, Johnny, you haven't called me in ages.
Well, you know how it is. Look, Nancy, did you ever go ahead with your study of psychic investigation?
Psychic? Oh, no, Johnny. I found I'd have to read a couple of hundred musty old books, so I gave it up.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Oh, why?
Well, I've got to run over to Jersey to investigate a haunted town.
A haunted town? How thrilling.
Except that such a thing is impossible.
Oh, it is?
Sure. But I'd kind of thought that maybe you were still... Well, I guess we better forget it.
Forget it, nothing. I'm going with you.
Oh, no, wait,
No excuses. I'll put on my face and another dress and be waiting by the time you can get here.
Yeah, but look, honey,
Huh? Johnny.
Okay, Nancy, I'll pick you up. Item 3, 1085, taxi and train for 2 to New York. Item 4, $50, deposit on a rental car when we got into Grand Central Station. We crossed over into Jersey and hit Route 22 for Somerville and points west. And every mile of the way, Nancy chattered away like a magpie. She kept quoting some of the stuff she had read on the subject. A lot of authorities who decided that some of the reports on haunted towns and houses and people, things like that, had decided there was something really supernatural about them. And you know, after a while, I began to wonder. Yep, I began to wonder.
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Kansas' state flag is dark blue, and in the center is the state seal, surmounted by a large sunflower, the official state flower. The seal reflects the history of Kansas, the train of ox wagons going west, for most of the great roads passed through Kansas. An Indian is depicted chasing a herd of buffalo, recalling the words of the official state song, "Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam." For this truly was the home of the buffalo and Indian. The East is represented by a rising sun, and the promise of future prosperity is indicated by the steamboat on the river and the farmer plowing the field. Above a mountain range are 34 stars, for Kansas was the 34th state admitted to the Union. Over all is the state motto, Ad astra per aspera. To the stars through difficulties. Kansas state flag, the flag of the 34th state to enter the Union, was adopted on March 23rd, 1927.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Ghost to Ghost Matter.
Lake City, nestled in among the soft, rolling North Jersey hills. But a kind of has-been town. I saw the reason for that in the abandoned mill, the old McAndrews cotton mill at one side of the lake. The same old story, I guess. When a town's main industry closes down, it kind of goes to pot. Nonetheless, it was a charming little place. Population, maybe 400 or 500. When we finally located Oscar Trimley's insurance office, we found a bit of a gathering there.
And Mr. Dollar, that is Miss Turner and Mr. Dollar. This is Charlie Reed, Bill Foster, and Tony Gray. We're sort of a local businessmen's club, Johnny, you know.
Okay, then let's get to the point.
Sit down.
Thank you.
Johnny, I thought over the phone that you were turning us down.
Well, I changed my mind, and when I thought of Nancy and her knowledge of the supernatural...
Good. That's what we need.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I am interested in the subject.
We're all a little worried about it. Tony isn't kidding. I think we're a pretty level-headed bunch, but, well, this thing has us scared. That's putting it mildly.
If it really is his ghost that's plaguing us...
Oh, now, you don't seriously believe in ghosts.
I'll tell you this. I never did before, but now, well, wait and you'll see.
Gee, Johnny.
Well, suppose you tell me what's going on.
Well...
No, Johnny. You'll have to see for yourself.
And here?
Yes, Charlie, and here. And that means waiting until midnight.
Midnight?
Sure, Mr. Dollar.
Well, just why, Bill?
You'll see.
Yes, and meantime, you can look around... Say, aren't you quite a fisherman, Johnny?
Oh, I'd rather fish than eat, but now look, if you...
I love to fish, too.
Good. The lake's full of nice bass. Charlie, you can fix them up with a boat, can't you?
Sure can.
Yes, but if I'm going to investigate...
Tony, you arrange for a place for Miss Turner to stay overnight.
Be glad to.
Well, now...
And Johnny, you'll stay at my home, all right?
Fine, but now at least tell me...
No, I want you to see for yourself at midnight. Now, meantime, good fishing.
Right. Now, I've got to get back to the shop before Mrs. Bixley starts screaming about her high five. See you later.
Yeah, and I'll come back to the office and arrange somewhere for Miss Turner to stay. See you later.
See you, Tony. Now, if you folks will come over to the print shop with me, we'll pick up the keys to my boat and some tackle, and you can be on your way.
Look, can't you at least give me some idea?
Nope, not a thing until midnight. Oh, and we'll all have dinner together at the hotel.
Mr. Trimley...
Well, you ready, Mr. Turner? Johnny?
Well, you fellas are the boss, I guess. Fishing, Nancy?
I'd love it.
I'll even give you some of the fast strike hooks I use.
Okay, then let's go. There was something slightly screwy about the whole thing. And I don't mean just the talk of a ghost. But when I go fishing, and at company expense, well, who's to complain? So Nancy and I spent the rest of the day on the lake. Matter of fact, she caught the big one. By dinner time, we were starved, and the little hotel served us not only excellent cocktails, but a regular banquet, complete with champagne.
You enjoying it, Miss Turner?
I love it. Only why don't you call me Nancy?
Sure, why not?
Charlie, I'll tell your wife.
Tony, you stay out of this.
Mr. Trimley, about this ghost business.
This champagne, you know, comes from the old Leland Stanford vineyard.
Oh, yes, and it's fine.
Finest I know.
But it's time we talk about your ghost.
Say, you land any big ones out on the lake?
Yeah, Bill. Nancy got a 4-pounder. But now listen, will you...
Another thing about this fine California
didn't I see you navigating the boat, Nancy?
Listen, will you please...
I got one last year, weighed 6.5
Look, fellas, go over near the old cotton. Hey, fellas, look, please, will you tell me a little bit about... All I want to know is... So, I got nowhere. But then, finally, after a lot more food and wine and chatter, we drove off in Tony's car.
Now, I'm stopping here in the middle of town, Johnny, because it's the best place to be when things start popping.
Like what? Hey, when are you fellas going to stop this runaround and start making sense?
You'll see.
I'm all excited.
Look, Johnny.
Yeah, Charlie?
You see the old tower clock? Almost midnight.
So what about it?
Old McAndrews passed away at the stroke of midnight, Johnny. Personally, I think that has something to do with this.
You still haven't told me with what?
Wait. Listen. There goes the tower clock.
Oh, midnight.
Count them, Johnny. That was 4, 5...
And, Johnny, see how all the lights are flickering along the streets?
That happens every night?
And no reason for it.
Look, bats.
Huh?
Millions of bats coming out of that clock tower.
Yeah, I see him. but I don't. What under the sun is that?
That's the ghost, wailing.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
That scream fills the air, comes from everywhere.
Oh, it's a horrible sound. Johnny.
Easy, honey.
No, listen. Didn't you hear? That clock struck 13.
Yes, Johnny.
Why, yes.
You asked me, the devil's in old McAndrew's ghost. That's why it comes out of his house every night.
Out of his house?
Right, Johnny. And wait till you see what's there.
Right.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Famous words of wisdom spoken by great men of thought never die, but are carried on through history by the people who feel them and love them. When Benjamin Franklin said, "They that can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety," he was speaking for all men in all countries. In May 1945, when the 1st Marine Division was making an assault on Okinawa, pharmacist's mate William D. Halliburton, Jr., serving with the Marine Rifle Company, left his place of safety during a terrific counterattack by the enemy. In spite of the deadly accuracy of the concentrated fire around him, Halliburton unhesitatingly dashed across a draw and up a hill into an open, bombarded field to render first aid to a fallen Marine. When his patient was struck a second time, Halliburton placed himself in the direct line of fire in order that he might shield his patient and continue to treat him. Though he could have sought safety until his company advanced and covered him, his first thought was for the wounded man. It was only when the slashing fury of the shrapnel and bullets mortally wounded him that Halliburton was unable to continue his duty. His unwavering code of conduct in the fight for liberty earned him his grateful country's highest award, the Medal of Honor.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Ghost to Ghost Matter.
Is the front door of this old house always left wide open?
Yeah, Johnny. Sure you want to go in?
Sure. Come along, Nancy.
I'm coming. I thought there was more light around.
Oh, that's nice. Slammed right in our faces.
I knew it.
Unlocked, though. Let me have that flashlight, Tony.
Here.
No sign of wires or strings on it. Come on.
Okay. Come on, fellas.
Now, Johnny.
Yeah, Bill?
As you can see, there's just one big room downstairs here.
Johnny.
Easy, Nancy, easy.
Don't you see
Look,
that?
I admit this is all pretty strange, but a ghost.
Well, what else? We've been over this house with a fine-tooth comb.
Hey, listen. You hear that?
Somebody's walking on the ceiling. Listen. Oh.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you hear.
Poltergeist, noisy spirits. You can hear them, but you can't see them.
Don't you see, Johnny? It can't be anything normal or natural.
Is that the end?
No, sir. The old ghost has a regular... See? Hear those shutters banging? There's no wind out there.
Why didn't you tell me it'd be like this, Johnny? Let's...
Look.
Yeah. Lights moving around somewhere outside.
You can see the reflection in the trees.
But they're green. Ghost lights. Oh! Johnny, look. This is a rocking chair. It's rocking.
In front of the window, where old McAndrews used to sit and look out on the town before he died.
Give me the flashlight.
Here.
No strings or wires on this either.
Well, that's the end of it. The same crazy routine every night.
It's the ghost of Ian McAndrews. That's all there is to it.
Well, from what you fellas have shown me tonight, it kind of looks that way.
It is, Johnny.
But tomorrow I want to investigate these things in broad daylight. I investigated all right, the old house, the clock tower, everything I could find. And thanks to the help of the boys, we covered a lot of ground. Result? Nothing. Meantime, I noticed that the sleepy little town of Lake City, was being mobbed. People from all over, streets jammed with cars. And as we sat down at lunch in the hotel...
Miss, waitress, will you please bring me another cup of... Oh, dear, she didn't hear me.
Where'd they all come from?
Yeah, business has certainly picked up around here.
Why, yes, I noticed that.
Any idea why, Bill?
Not the least. No wonder Tony couldn't be with us for lunch. And Charlie's at his print shop getting out an extra.
Hey, excuse me. Aren't you Johnny Dollar, the investigator?
Yeah, that's right.
Man, can I use you? Now, just let me get a picture.
Well, now, wait.
Hold it. Okay, Johnny. Thanks a lot.
Hey, that photographer's from one of the New York papers.
No kidding.
Oh, really? Listen, if Art Price at International Press gave out the word about this ghost story...
Oh, now, Johnny.
Okay, Nancy, you all finished?
Uh-huh.
Then, Oscar, Bill, we're going to leave the check with you and pull out.
You mean leave town?
Yep, going back to Hartford.
Johnny.
I've investigated. I've come up with nothing. So there's no point in staying around any longer.
Oh, Johnny.
Thanks a lot, fellas. And, Oscar, I'll send you my expense account. Come on, Nancy. Give up? Hardly. Sure, Nancy and I hit the highway, but for only a few miles. Then shortly after dark, we drove back. And for a couple of hours, for 3 or 4 hours, well, anyhow, shortly before midnight, Nancy and I walked quietly up on the porch of Oscar Trembley's insurance office.
You mean you didn't leave a message at my office to be here tonight?
I certainly didn't. I found a message from Charlie.
Are you kidding? Somebody left a message at my print shop to be here.
And I got one at my radio shop.
Well, I'll be
Good girl,
darned.
Nancy.
Now, I want...
Of course, they couldn't know your handwriting.
Hey, wait a minute. There's somebody outside.
Huh?
Johnny.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Why, I thought you'd left town, Johnny.
What are you doing back
Yeah,
here?
that's right. I wanted you to think so. Oh, listen. The old tower clock has started to strike midnight.
Well, yeah, that's 5, 6.
Boys, I suddenly realized that in all my investigation this morning, I was being handicapped by what I thought was help.
What do you mean, Johnny? Yeah, what's that?
I had too much help. 2 or 3 of you were with me every second.
Oh, we wanted to be sure you wouldn't overlook anything.
That's right. You wanted to be sure I would overlook a few things.
Huh?
Hey, now, wait. That's 11, 12. Well, hey, it only struck 12.
Yeah, that's right. No ghostly wail tonight, is there?
I know.
No, fellas, no. Because the ghost is no more.
You, found the ghost, Johnny?
I found out that he's one of you, maybe all of you.
What are you...
Alone, without your careful guidance, I finally located that sub-cellar in the old McAndrews house.
You did?
And that mess of complicated electrical stuff that was making the weird sound effects, the rocking chair, the banging shutters, and so on. Very clever. Your handiwork, Bill?
Sure. But Johnny...
Oh, fellas, it was a wonderful publicity stunt. Especially after international press was notified.
But you did that.
Not only for your radio and electronics shop, Bill, for your real estate business, Tony, your print shop and newspaper, Charlie, and your insurance business, Oscar.
Well, now,
but
Johnny...
for the whole town. It's going to put Lake City on the map again. Which is to say, the motive wasn't entirely selfish.
No, of course it wasn't.
Okay, man. And because of that, and that alone, I won't give you away. Provided the ghost of Ian McAndrews never walks the streets of Lake City again.
Well, you can be sure of that, Johnny.
I don't know. I suppose I ought to really hit you over the head with this expense account. But after all, the cause was a kind of worthy one. So I'll be honest with it for a change. And it was fun to have Nancy Turner along. Expense account total, including mileage on the rental car, less deposit, $31.50. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. North Dakota's state flag consists of a field of blue bordered with a knotted yellow fringe. Centered is a bird with outspread wings and with open beak, the eagle, king of birds, symbol of supreme authority, power, strength, and nobility. The left talon of the eagle grasps a sheaf of arrows, representing the Indians of North Dakota. The right foot grasps an olive branch, signifying peace. On the breast of the eagle is a shield with 7 red and 6 white stripes, signifying protection by the Union of the States. A scroll bearing the word E pluribus unum, one out of many, passes through the eagle's beak. 13 stars for the original 13 states are over the scroll. Above the stars is a sunburst for the continual sunshine in the state. North Dakota's state flag, the flag of the 39th state to enter the Union, was adopted on March 26, 1929.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story. Next week, the most dangerous, exciting incident of my whole career. I break out in a cold sweat whenever I think of it. So join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote today's story. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Forrest Lewis, Joseph Kearns, Russell Thorson, Sam Edwards, and Bob Bruce. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Introducing another in the series of dramatic previews brought to you each week by the American Weekly, the magazine which is distributed to all Hearst Sunday newspapers from coast to coast. May we call attention to a sensational announcement of vital importance, which will be made at the end of this program, a message which may have untold influence in the future welfare and happiness of you and yours. The dramatic presentation lasts exactly 12 minutes. Don't fail to wait and listen to the announcement that follows. It may bring a lifetime of comfort and security. The American Theater of Radio presents Ghosts of the Catacombs, a radio interpretation of one of the many interesting stories to be found in next Sunday's issue of the American Weekly. Ghosts of the Catacombs was produced in the studios of the General Broadcasting Company in New York. The principals in our cast will be Professor Hendry, eminent psychical research director, Norman Darrell, his aide, Signora Zarelli, the medium, and the remainder of our cast will be those whom Signora Zarelli brings before us in spirit form. The weirdest and most spectacular seance ever held was deep down in the Catacombs of Rome, amid the dust and grinning skulls of 6 million early Christians who were buried in those miles of twisting subterranean labyrinths. The tortuous passages of the catacombs are carved out of solid rock, one above another, to a depth of more than 80 feet below the surface, many of them barely wide enough for a person to squeeze through. The walls are lined with the crypts in which millions of bodies have been entombed. The surface entrance to the catacombs is our first scene. Professor Henry and his assistants are awaiting the arrival of Senora Zorelli, the medium, through whom the professor intends to conduct his series of experiments.
You don't suppose there's any chance that the medium will disappoint us, Professor?
I see no reason why she should, Norman. She gave me her word.
Did I understand you to say that she was afraid of ghosts?
Mortally.
Well, that seems funny.
May seem so to you, my dear boy, but I can assure you that it was far from funny for me trying to persuade her to meet us here and conduct the experiment.
Well, just why did you choose the catacombs of Rome when you've been so successful in your laboratory in London?
As I have said, we have evidence to substantiate what are commonly known as hauntings. That is, phenomena appear in some places and not in others.
Oh, yes, so I've heard.
Also, there is good evidence of the effect of material things upon clairvoyance. Here is a place haunted by 6 million dead. The clairvoyant effect of their bones and graves is potentially terrific.
Yes, sir, I can understand that.
I beg your pardon, were the seniors waiting for me?
Oh, it's the medium.
Yes, of course, indeed. Signora Zarelli, my assistant, Mr. Darrell.
How do you do?
How do you do?
We shall proceed at once to the catacombs below.
Oh, but, Senor, you are selecting this entrance?
Certainly. Why not?
But this section is sacred to St. Agnes, the martyred Roman Virgin.
I chose this section particularly.
Oh, spare me, Senor. I care not to enter here.
Come, my good woman. One section is the same as another, except for the fact that I am most interested in what our findings may be in the ground of St. Agnes.
Oh, Senor, please. I beg of you to allow me to go home.
This is no time to change your mind. Remember your agreement. The money.
No, it is always the necessity of money. I will go.
Very well. Norman, light the tapers and we'll go below.
Very well, sir.
Give me a taper, Norman. I'll go first. The Signora will come next and you will follow behind.
Here you are, sir.
Watch your steps carefully. The stairway's badly crumbled in spots.
Oh, Senor, will you not release me from our agreement?
Certainly not. Follow me.
These steps are off them now. Watch out, Senor. Take my hand, now. That's it. Watch down here. Watch out. Be careful. All right, Professor. Come on. Oh. What was that?
Here it is.
Nothing at all. Just a bat attracted by the light of our tapers. I must ask you both to keep your composure.
I'm sorry, sir.
Be careful. We're nearly at the bottom. This is the last step. We'll have to squeeze through here. It's a very narrow entrance.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Senor, please.
I'm through. Follow me.
Watch out, Senor.
Yep. Oh, my hand.
Here we are.
Oh, look. Look. Everywhere. Skulls. Bones.
The last resting place of 6 million early Christians.
Do you feel all right, Professor?
Certainly.
I feel a nearness.
Quiet. He's going into the trance. Stand ready with your notebook.
Yes, sir.
Take down every syllable she utters.
Yes. I see a tall, beautiful girl. Fair hair. Thin, arched brows. She is about 19 years old. She is dressed in a long white robe. Her hair is drawn together by a strand of twisted wool. It is St. Agnes.
Have you written all that, Norman?
Yes, sir. Do you really think she sees all that?
We have no evidence.
But
He speaks again.
I get a picture of a large crowd of people. They are angry. They are rushing through one of the narrow streets that skirt the Forum Romanum. They are running toward the river. There is a small wooden bridge. The crowd approaches this bridge. Suddenly, St. Agnes appears. She stands at the entrance of the bridge. She talked to the angry mob.
Why do you run in such haste and anger? Calm yourselves, I beg of you. You know not what you do when flamed by the fires of unrighteous anger. Return to the peace of your homes and occupations. Forget the hatred that you've taken into your heart. Lift your eyes and your hearts to the Lord and beg forgiveness for your wrongs.
Some strange power this girl possesses. I see the angry mob kneeling in prayer. She is seizing the opportunity to make converts. The vision fades.
Wonderful, isn't it, Professor? The powers of clairvoyance this woman possesses.
Remember, Darrell, we have no proof of what she has said.
Does the senior doubt the truth of my visions?
My dear woman, I told you when I engaged you that this was being done as an experiment. I do not doubt you.
'Tis well not to doubt too much.
You see, Professor? Quiet, my boy. Watch her.
I see the picture of the Appian Way. There is a group of people headed by St. Agnes, walking in single file across the field near the church of Quo Vadis. It is night. St. Agnes is carrying a lighted candle. A little distance from a stone wall which separates the field from the road, near the junction of the Ardeatine roadway, the procession is stopping. I see two men at the rear who seem to be carrying a lead casket. They bring the casket forward and place it at the feet of St. Agnes. The box is open. St. Agnes reads from a scroll a list of the things to be placed in it.
Placed within the casket these two parchment rolls on bronze supports. Now these bronze plates, these statuettes, the gold chain and medallion, and the book with the gold binding. That is all. Now replace the cover and seal it.
I see a vision of a man pacing off steps from where the casket rests. He walks 4 paces to the large stone, returns, and walks 6 paces to the roadway. He comes back to the casket, and St. Agnes orders 2 men to dig a hole. The vision fades.
Did you get it all down, Darrell?
I did, sir.
The number of pieces taken by the man?
Yes, sir. 4 paces to the large stone, 6 paces to the roadway.
The Via Ardeatine still runs as it did hundreds of years ago when first the road was built. Undoubtedly, the large stone referred to still remains. If so, we have a discovery far greater than any antiquarian and religious interest.
You mean?
Of course, if we dig at the spot indicated and find this casket, it will prove the vision. Because this medium couldn't possibly have known about it by any normal means.
I trust the Signor will find proof of my faith and powers.
I told you before, Signora, it is not a matter of doubting your powers, but I must have established facts to prove to myself and those whom I represent.
I see.
And now, as long as we are here, I would like to make one more experiment. That is, provided the Signora is so inclined.
I will see if the powers are working. I see confusion. A group of soldiers are escorting St. Agnes to the gate of St. Sebastian. They are followed by a hooting mob of people.
Burn her! Christian dogs!
Silence! Woman, your hour has come. You have been found guilty of worshipping the Christian God and of influencing others in unlawful Christian practices. The law of Rome is plain. The emperor has decreed that you be given the opportunity to renounce Christianity. Become a loyal Roman and enjoy the fruits that are Rome. Or, failing this, it has been decreed that you are to be banished from the city. What say you?
What does it profit a man that he gain the whole world and loseth his soul? Or what exchange can a man give for his soul? For the Son of God will come in the glory of his Father and render every man according to his work.
Then get thee hence. Through the gates with her! Through the gates! Away with her!
Bring him down, you go from the city, but you go not alive! Go in death!
Saint Agnes sinks lifeless to the ground, fatally stabbed by one of the enraged soldiers. The vision fades.
This is but one of the many harrowing experiences described by Mr. Harry Pierce, director of the National Laboratory of Psychical Research, London, in his new series, Startling Experiences with Spirit Mediums. The first illustrated article appears in next Sunday's issue of the American Weekly, the magazine which is distributed with all Hearst Sunday newspapers from coast to coast. And now for that important announcement. $1,000 a year for life. What a reward for a moment's thought. Just one little idea. That's the opportunity that is being offered to all readers of Hearst Sunday newspapers by the American Weekly, the magazine which is distributed each week with these newspapers. And now the race for those 10 great annuity prizes is half over. Did you get in? What? You didn't start? Well, what are you waiting for? Well, there's one more chance for you. And if you don't take this one, it's just too bad. Next Sunday's American Weekly, issue October 1st, will print coupons numbers 1, 2, and 3. The first two you missed through your own neglect. The third one is the regular coupon for next Sunday. Now you can have 3 chances for the great prizes and may write and enter 3 slogans or subtitles in the competition. Remember, it's your last chance to get into the race. Get the Hearst Sunday newspaper. Read the rules carefully. Follow the instructions exactly. Fill in the coupons and write your suggestions for a slogan. Don't forget to put down your age and birthday date so the American Weekly can have the big life insurance company make out your $1,000 a year life annuity policy when you win it. Every large fortune is built on the foundation of one great idea. You may have the great idea that the American Weekly seeks. Write it and a real fortune is yours. Get next Sunday's first newspaper with the American Weekly and make the grade.
Sloan's Liniment presents Gangbusters. At war, marching against the underworld. From coast to coast, gangbusters, police, the G-men, our government agents, marching against the underworld.
Tonight, the case of a ghostly prisoner roaming the countryside unrecognized. A mountaineer farmer with a mysterious complex about burglary. A murder in a trailer camp. That's tonight's Gangbusters.
Now picture our setting as the special office turned over to gangbusters by Commissioner Louis J. Valentine of the New York City Police for a proxy interview between Colonel H. Norman Schwarzkopf, United States Army, and Edgar Sims, Chief of Police, Alexandria, Virginia. Colonel Schwarzkopf.
Chief Sims, in these times of hidden enemies within our nation, tonight's case is very timely.
It is, Colonel Schwarzkopf. And tonight's case is a very exciting one.
You make it sound very unusual, Colonel.
It is, Frank. About an unusually vicious criminal.
Well, Colonel, I don't want to seem to step over into your department, but I know a criminal who in his way is just as undesirable. I'm talking about muscular distress, and anyone who has felt that insidious sudden ache or pain knows just what I mean. Still, I'm happy to report this particular felon has met his match. For the past 50 years, Sloan's liniment has been busy driving the soreness and stiffness out of aching, painful muscles, bringing quick and comforting relief to millions all over the world. Sloan's is the pat-on liniment that works like a heat treatment. All you do is pat on Sloan's. That's all. Just pat it on the sore place. And then, like a heat treatment, that gentle warmth seems to get right at that knot of trouble in your stiff neck or sore back. If you happen a bottle of Sloan's on your medicine shelf right now, be sure to ask your druggist for Sloan's liniment when you're doing your shopping tomorrow. All right, Colonel Schwarzkopf.
Well, Chief Sims, at what point do you intend to start tonight's case?
August 21st, 1938, at 7:15 that morning, in an outlying section of McCreary County in the Kentucky hills, Mrs. Godfrey was struggling with a dog in a farmyard.
Now, hold still. Open your mouth, Tiger, like a good dog. Lie still there now. Here, Tiger. Open your mouth.
Howdy, Mrs. Godfrey.
Oh.
What's the trouble?
Plenty's the trouble, Mr. Buchanan. Help me with my dog here, will you?
What's the matter?
He's been poisoned. Hold his jaws open while I pour this vinegar down his throat. Now, look out he don't bite.
Yeah, I got him. But just vinegar won't help him. I don't reckon.
Why, vinegar's always good for poison, so I've heard.
Quiet.
Quiet. Hold him, Mr. Buchanan. Knocked the vinegar bottle right out of my hand.
Look out. I gotta let him go. He's trying to bite me.
I never thought you had it in you to shoot even a dog, Mr. Buchanan.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Godfrey, but he was in such pain he'd have bitten both of us.
Poor Tiger. I guess we should have shot him ourselves when we first found him like this.
How long ago was that?
Half an hour ago, just before Mr. Godfrey left.
Where'd Mr. Godfrey go?
Sheriff. Somebody poisoned Tiger and then robbed the house while we was asleep.
That's right funny.
What?
I got my trailer parked over at the tourist camp in Plaster County.
Well, what about it?
Well, just before I left the trailer camp, I heard 3 farmhouses over there were robbed last night. And in every case, the dogs were poisoned.
Well, we'll see what the sheriff has to say. Oh, I suppose, Mr. Buchanan, you brought the wicker seat and willow basket I ordered last spring.
Yeah. I've got those things already woven for you, Mrs. Godfrey. They're right in the car, and I'll get them for you.
Attention, all Southeast Kentucky sheriffs and police. 8 houses burglarized last night while occupants were asleep. Watchdogs poisoned before each robbery.
So there you are, Mrs. Godfrey. Looking at cars yourself tonight, huh?
Oh, Mr. Buchanan, you're quite a stranger. You didn't stop by on your way north this spring.
No, I didn't, Mrs. Godfrey. This year I got some wonderful new baskets to sell.
Oh?
I wove every one of them myself. Mr. Godfrey home?
No. Seems like Mr. Godfrey's never home when you call, Mr. Buchanan.
Matter. I'm worried.
Well, Mr. Godfrey does go away from home a heap more than he used to. He ain't been the same since that time we got robbed last year.
How do you mean, ma'am?
Well, he swears he's going to catch the burglar who robbed us and kill him. He's left standing word with the sheriff to call him up any hour, night or day, when there's another burglary hereabouts.
You mean there's been more robberies since last year?
Oh, mercy me. One last night over in Wilton and another one night before last in 4 Acre. Mr. Godfrey says there'll be another one tonight, too.
Another tonight? How does your husband get all this advance information?
Seems like he just feels it in his bones. Like last night. Why, Mr. Godfrey was off for the sheriff's on a hunch almost 3/4 of an hour before the sheriff called him up to stop the Wilton robbery.
These robberies been going on regular in these parts, Mrs. Godfrey.
Yeah, they sure have. They come and go by spasms. Well, if you'll come up to the house, I'll look over your basket.
Here, let me carry those milk trails.
Oh, thank you.
But you get a little frightened, Mrs. Godfrey, staying alone so many nights while Mr. Godfrey's away?
No, Mr. Godfrey's going to fix up the farm with burglar alarms. We won't depend on a watchdog anymore.
Oh.
Attention. Third burglary in southeast Kentucky on third night in succession. Godfrey farmhouse pillaged second time in 2 years. Watchdog poison.
Warning. New outbreak of robberies in Greene County, Tennessee. Same localities burglarized as were looted mysteriously last year at same time.
As Colonel Schwarzkopf, the Cumberland Mountain region was up in arms by this time, but the wave of burglary subsided as quickly as it had arisen, just as it did the year before. Then another year passed.
And another epidemic of robberies broke out, Chief Sims?
Yes, but not in the same territory, Colonel Schwarzkopf. From July to November 1940, dwellings were burglarized through northern Virginia. In the office of Fairfax County, Virginia, Detective Henry McGarity and Detective Lieutenant A.R. Stanley of the Alexandria City Police questioned one of the recent robbery victims.
Mr. Wilkins, just before your house was burglarized, there were a couple of strangers seen around your place.
Yes, Detective Stanley. The day before my house was robbed, a fellow came around. He tried to sell me some baskets and seat covers he'd woven.
Came around to sell you woven baskets and seat covers, huh?
Yes, Detective McGarity. And the next day, he came back again.
Returned the day after the robbery, huh?
Yes, sir. He said he thought that I'd told him I might think over buying some of his goods.
Did you ever see this man before, Mr. Wilkins?
No, but he sold one of my neighbors a willow bark basket. And he mentioned having a trailer over at the tourist camp by Alexandria.
What about the other man who came to see you, Mr. Wilkins?
Well, he acted kind of like a nut. He said his name was Godfrey, and he came from down in Kentucky. Said his own house had been robbed twice, and 2 of his watchdogs killed. And it got him so mad that he's been chasing around the country ever since, trying to catch the burglar who did it. He's supposed to be the best shot in Kentucky, too.
Didn't you tell me this Godfrey showed up at your house a few hours after the robbery?
Yes, sir.
Must have driven like the wind to get here from the Cumberland Mountains. It's over a 600-mile trip. The report on the robbery didn't go out on a teletype until nearly dawn, did it, Lieutenant Stanley?
5:25, to be exact.
A basket wheeler at a trailer camp in Alexandria, and a mountain farmer from Kentucky, both showing up the day after Wilkins' house was burglarized. Something very strange here.
Chief Sims, I know this case is approaching its climax.
And the most stirring and spectacular one, too, Colonel Schwarzkopf.
Yes, but before you tell us about it, Frank Gallup would like to make a few predictions.
Well, predicting the future isn't as difficult as it sounds, Colonel Schwarzkopf. For instance, I can predict right now that hundreds of thousands of people are going to be plagued by muscular aches and pains during the next 6 or 7 months. How do I know? Because that time of year is known as liniment time, when folks everywhere count on Sloan's to avoid needless discomfort caused by simple muscular distress. Most of them are already prepared, with a full bottle of Sloan's liniment ready and waiting on the medicine shelf for the first twinge of pain. Now, for those of you who are not ready, I have this friendly tip. Get a bottle of Sloan's at your favorite drugstore as soon as possible. Muscular aches and pains, as you know only too well, strike suddenly, without warning. Overexertion on your job, a slight accident, or overexposure to blustery wind and rain often results in stiff, sore muscles that make your life miserable. When you have a bottle of dependable Sloan's liniment handy, though, you can expect quick and comforting relief in just about a jiffy. Sloan's, you know, is the pat-on liniment. That's all you do, just pat it on the sore place. And like a heat treatment, Sloan's goes right to work, helping to loosen and relax those tight muscles. So make sure you have a bottle of Sloan's liniment on your medicine shelf at all times. Well, Colonel Schwarzkopf, I've finished with my predictions. What did Lieutenant Stanley find in that trailer camp?
I was just going to ask that question of Chief Sims myself, Frank. Chief Sims, did Lieutenant Stanley and Detective McGarity go to the trailer camp at Alexandria, Virginia?
Yes, Colonel Schwarzkopf. But the basket weaver, Buchanan, whom they were looking for, had left. The other campers told the investigators Buchanan had set off with his trailer for the Cumberland Gap. The Virginia police thereupon got in touch with Middlesboro's captain of police, Barton.
Wallace, Deputy Kane.
Yes, Captain Barton?
Go on, me, Captain Barton. Yes, here's a flash from the Virginia police. They want us to pick up Clyde Buchanan for questioning. The trailer's parked at the trailer camp just outside of Middlesbrough here.
Why, I've known Clyde Buchanan all my life, Captain Barton. Why do you suppose the Virginia police want Buchanan for questions?
I'm puzzled. Clyde Buchanan's a fine man. But we'd better go out to the trailer camp and see him. Yeah, that's Buchanan's trailer right at the end of this lane.
Look, Captain Barton. Buchanan's coming out to meet us.
Hello, Sheriff Wallace.
Captain Barton?
Sheriff.
What brings you gents out here? Well, Clyde, to tell you the truth, we've come to see you. Me? What for?
Well, the Virginia police seem to think you've had something to do with some robberies.
You don't mean you're arresting me? Well, there's some kind of mistake here. All right, I'll go with you and straighten it out. Just wait till I get a hat and coat. Just a minute, Clyde. You got a gun on you? I always carry a gun. You know that. Driving nights and stopping in lonely places sometimes like I do.
Well, you'd better give us the gun, Buchanan.
Sure.
I'll give you the gun, all right. He shot the sheriff. Stop! Halt, Buchanan! Don't stop, Captain. Where you are. I'm shooting you too, Deputy. Not if I get you first. Oh.
You're crazy trying to shoot it out with me, Deputy. I shot the gun right out of your hand. Now I'm finishing the job.
Oh, no. Your gun's empty.
The sheriff's safe.
Hold him! Get Buchanan! There he goes! Into those cowboys! Hey, fire the fire! Go out! Get Sheriff Wallace to the line! Hey, out! Come back here, Sheriff!
Who's in charge here?
I am. I'm County Attorney Fred Miller.
Well, I'm Detective McGarry from Fairfax County, Virginia. We're the ones who sent you the call that we want Buchanan for questioning.
I know. Now we want him for murder.
Yes, so I've heard.
If it's burglary evidence you're looking for, you'll find plenty in Buchanan's trailer over there. Chloroform, several different kinds of poison, and more money than a man could honestly make weaving baskets.
What about this fellow Godfrey? His action struck us as suspicious, too.
Godfrey?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Farmer Godfrey?
That's right.
Well, he's innocent, but I don't know how long he's going to be.
No, what do you mean by that?
They tell me Godfrey's set off without authority as a one-man posse to track Buchanan down by himself. Now, if Godfrey does catch him, he'll kill him. He's cracked on the subject.
When are you starting after Buchanan?
Right away. We're giving the bloodhounds a scent now. Come on along if you like.
Oh, thanks.
Here you are, boy. Take a good smell of this.
What's that?
That's part of one of Buchanan's shirts. You take another sniff, boy. That's it.
Say, this dog don't look big enough to travel with a pack.
He's still a puppy. Never been out before, but this case will give him training.
He's a cunning little thing.
Here you are, puppy. Come on now, sniff again. That's a good little puppy. All ready, men? All right, let the hounds off the leash.
That's funny, Miller. The hounds led us right up this mountain trail. Now they're running around in circles again.
They've lost the scent, McGarity. Buchanan knows his mountains and his dogs. He's crossed his high and dry railroad bed so the wind would carry off his scent.
Well, Say, where's the little fella?
Little fella?
Yeah, the puppy.
Well, George, you're right. Where is he?
Hip up. Here, Tiny. Come on, Tiny. Go get him, boys. Go find your little pal. Here, Tiny. Come on, pup.
Look, there goes one of the hounds down that ravine.
After him, boys. Go get him.
They picked up Buchanan's trail again, I guess.
They picked up something fresh, but they don't act as though they were on Buchanan's trail. Come on.
Right.
Hey, men, follow us.
Well, here's the bottom of the valley. Now, where are the hounds?
Listen. See, they found something over there in that thicket.
What's that?
Come on. There's somebody in there.
Hello? Posse! Surround that thicket!
Let's go, McGarry.
Right. Go on your dogs off, mister.
All right, down, boys. Down, quiet. All right, youngster, climb down out of that tree.
Hey, this young fella's hurt. He's got a big gash on his head.
No, I'm all right now.
What happened, young fella?
I don't know. I was hunting squirrels, and all of a sudden something hit me on the head. When I came to, my rifle and squirrels were gone. There was a little dog sniffing a piece of raw meat. And then the whole pack came
A
along.
little dog? Where?
Well, right over there where the big hounds are.
All right, go away, boys. Go away. Get away from that meat.
Dead. A poor little pup.
Yes. Buchanan must have had a vial of poison on him and poisoned this piece of squirrel meat to throw the hounds off again.
That dirty yellow skunk.
He was a good hound. He's been killed on his first hunt. But he sent us back on that killer's trail. Buchanan can't be very far away.
Say, if you fellas are a posse, I'd like to go along with you. I'd like my rifle back.
Great Scott, I'd forgotten that. Buchanan has this boy's rifle now.
Son, you better stay behind. We'll bring your rifle back for you.
And Buchanan, dead or alive. Come on, hounds, sniff. Take another smell of this shirt. Good smell. That's it. Now, don't lose the scent again. All right, that's enough. Now, go find him. Go find the rat who killed your little pal. Well, that's where Buchanan went, all right, McGarry. Dogs lost the trail again at the foot of this cliff. That means that Buchanan must have climbed up the cliff.
But he never could reach the top, Miller.
No, he's most likely in that cave, halfway up with a crevice above it. We'll just wait till the rest of the posse have taken their position.
Come down out of there, Buchanan. You don't, I'll go up and get you.
Who's that?
That wasn't one of our posse. It's Farmer Godfrey back of that rock.
Godfrey?
Yes. We got to stop him from committing murder. Hey, Godfrey, keep out of this.
I'll keep out of nothing. I'm going to get that killer Buchanan.
I'll have to go over there and stop him.
Yeah, but you'll expose yourself to Buchanan if you do.
Buchanan's held his fire so far, that's a chance I'll have to take. You stay here and keep that cave covered.
Right.
You're a fool, Attorney Miller. Buchanan might have picked you off crawling over here like that.
You look here, Godfrey. Buchanan's saving his fire till it means something. It's more than you've been doing.
I'll shoot it out Buchanan any day. I'll stand in the open and let him stay in that cave and still knock the finger off his trigger when I see his gun flash. He's robbed my home twice and he's a killer.
You'll have to have mighty good eyesight, Godfrey, to see a gun flash up in that dark cave.
I ain't fixing to stay here. I'm going up after Buchanan right now.
You move 1 foot beyond this rock, and I'll shoot you.
Why, that snake in the grass Buchanan robbed my house twice, poisoned 2 of my dogs. You shoot me if I go after him. What kind of law is that?
It's law and order, Godfrey. You can't take the law into your own hands. That's my duty.
Well, what are you planning to do?
I'm going to make a dash for that boulder up ahead. I'm going up after Buchanan myself.
Well, all right. I'll hold my fire. But if Buchanan gets you, I won't hold off any longer.
All right, that's a promise, Godfrey. Wish me luck. Garrity, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to stay back.
I made a dash for this rock just the same as you did, Miller.
We'll be mighty lucky if he doesn't get one of us. Buchanan, we know you're up in that cave. You'd better surrender, Buchanan.
Buchanan isn't biting.
I'll try once more. Come down, Buchanan, or we're coming up for you.
That got a response all right. That bullet came within a split inch of my ear.
Well, that was a warning that Buchanan doesn't intend to be taken alive.
Hey, look, there he goes, creeping out of the cave.
Making for the crevice above, we'll have a better cover. Well, it's now or never.
You've got him, Miller.
Yes,
You've got him.
Yes, he's falling, and he'll land right here at our feet.
Well, there he is. Don't look much like a killer now. That's the end of Buchanan.
And the end of the mystery of poisoned dogs and burglaries in Kentucky.
Colonel Schwarzkopf, the final revelation that widely respected Clyde Buchanan had been the secret scourge of 3 states was a shock to the countryside.
I can understand that, Chief Tim. He was a man who really led a double life.
Colonel Schwarzkopf, this may surprise you, but Sloan's liniment leads a double life, too. Men and women with tough jobs now keep a bottle of Sloan's in their lockers at plants and factories, as well as on the medicine shelves at home. You see, Sloan's is so easy to use that all you need are a few minutes at lunchtime or during a rest period. With Sloan's, there's no need for hard, painful massaging. All you have to do is pat Sloan's liniment on, and then relax for a while. And as you do, Sloan's penetrating warmth goes to work like a heat treatment. While almost no time at all, Sloan's helps you find quick and comforting relief. Don't let the suffering caused by simple muscular aches and pains slow you down. Let Sloan's help you maintain the top speed all America is aiming for. The top speed America needs in every job, your job. Protect yourself from the stiffness and soreness that so frequently follows accident, overexertion, or overexposure to bad weather. Pick up a bottle of Sloan's liniment tomorrow on the way down to work, and keep it in your locker always. And now, Gangbusters Clues. Wanted, most dangerous and ruthless criminals at large today. Number 1.
Basil U. Bangard, alias the Owl, 42, 5 feet 8 inches, 156 pounds, graying chestnut hair, blue-gray eyes, distinguishing marks, hair comes to arrow points, bald left and right front. Hair comes to arrow points, bald left and right front. May wear toupee to cover it. Wrinkles across forehead. Wrinkles across forehead. Raised scar upper right chin. Raised scar upper right chin. Mole left cheek. Mole on left cheek. Eyes have owl-like appearance. Eyes have owl-like appearance. May wear glasses to cover owl-like eyes. May wear hat or toupee to cover bald spots front of head. May wear glasses to cover owl-like eyes.
Urgently wanted criminal number 2.
Roger Toohey, 44, 5 feet 5 3/4 inches, 139 pounds, graying chestnut hair, blue eyes, distinguishing marks, hawk-like nose turned to left, hawk-like nose turned to left, mole below right side of nose, mole below right side of nose, prominent lump left side of neck, prominent lump left side of neck, lower lip turned under, lower lip turned under, amputated right thumb tip, amputated, may wear gloves to cover this defect.
Urgently wanted criminal number 3.
Matthew Nelson, 40, 5 feet 10 3/4 inches, 149 pounds, chestnut hair, scar right forehead, deep set grayish blue eyes, protruding chin, repeating, scar right forehead, deep set grayish blue eyes, protruding chin.
Urgently wanted criminal number 4.
James O'Connor, 36, 5 feet 5 3/4 inches, 157 pounds, dark wavy hair, yellow-gray eyes, gunshot wound just above left elbow, left arm stiffened, repeating, left arm stiffened from effects of gunshot wound above elbow.
Urgently wanted criminal number 5.
William Stewart, 45, 6 feet 1/2 inch, 179 pounds, dark graying hair, long straight nose, greenish gray eyes, round receding chin, has upper plate of false teeth, lower bridge of false teeth, mole
upper left part of head, star, tip left index finger, repeating, upper plate of false teeth, lower bridge of false teeth, mole, upper left part of head, star, tip left index finger.
Urgently wanted criminal number 6. St. Clair McInerney, 31, 5 feet 9 1/2 inches, 159 pounds, wavy brown hair, short nose, yellow slate eyes, face thick bonnet, heavy brows, star base of left thumb, star base of left thumb.
These subjects wanted for recent escape, Statesville Penitentiary, Joliet, Illinois. Governor, State of Illinois, has offered reward $1,000 for information leading to apprehension or delivery each these men to Statesville Penitentiary. Warning, these men reported armed and extremely dangerous. These men armed and extremely dangerous.
If you have any information concerning these clues, notify your local police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or gangbusters at once. And now, here's what Philip H. Lord has planned for next week.
Gangbusters friends, next week for Sloan's Liniment, the startling case of the Wolverine, the slinking terror of the Northland who stole out of the giant forest to strike with snarling savagery, midnight vigil in a deserted railroad station, and the eerie voice that came over the telephone, the paper napkin that led to the lonely snowbound cabin, then the race between the thundering express train and the police on a handcar in a desperate attempt to capture the Wolverine.
That's next week's Sloan's Liniment presentation of Gangbusters.
Gangbusters is a Philip H. Lord production which has originated in New York.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Murderers, by and large, probably lead very dull lives. But there's no doubt about the way most of them wind up. It's electrifying.
The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with America's #1 detective, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator.
Barrie Craig speaking. An office in a shabby old building on Madison Avenue isn't the ideal place to spend the summer. It isn't ideal for fall, winter, and spring either. But if you're a confidential investigator, you settle for considerably less than the ideal. When the phone rings, though, you hope. 9 times out of 10, it's only the phone company testing your reflexes. The 10th time...
Craig? Barrie Craig?
Speaking.
This is Mark Reed, Barrie.
Mark, I haven't heard from you.
Listen, I don't have much time. Can you get down here right away?
Well, get down where?
My house. The old tower house. It's right outside Dorning. That's upstate.
Well, I've driven through Dorning.
But don't drive. There's a train at midnight. Faster.
Well, what's my hurry?
Take that train. Tonight, please, Barrie.
But why?
I can't say any more. So long.
Mark. I've known Marjorie for quite a few years. Nothing special. We've knocked over a few beers from time to time. Discussed the state of the nation, admired sports cars. I'd never figured him for an especially imaginative type. On my way over to the station, I tried to tell myself it was just a fancy way of inviting me to spend a weekend in the country. But then, why had there been terror in his voice?
Ticket, please.
Here you are. getting off at dawning, huh?
That's right. Now, why do conductors always punch tickets and then keep them?
Well, we don't, actually. Except when the passenger is getting off at the next scheduled stop.
That's me. Well, how long before we get to dawning?
Hour or so?
Plane's kind of empty.
Late run, don't get many people.
Makes it nice and quiet and dull.
Moon shining.
Well, who does that help?
Observation platform, back of the train.
Well, that's nice. Gives you a better view of nothing.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh?
Blonde girl back there, too. Been there ever since we pulled out of the city.
Now, conductor.
Oh, I ain't trying to promote romance. I'm a little worried about her.
Why?
The way she looked. Frightened, sort of. In fact, she stayed out there all alone for hours now.
Oh, it doesn't have to mean anything.
Oh, that's why I didn't take any official notice. But I'm still worried.
Maybe I'll go back and see if the moon looks the same from the observation platform, huh?
Well, I think that might be a good idea. Only, one thing I maybe ought to tell you.
What's that?
She was carrying her ticket in her handbag. When she opened it to get the ticket, I noticed she was carrying something else in that handbag.
What?
A gun.
A blonde and an observation platform sort of go together, especially when there's a moon around. A blonde and a gun or something else again. Something not nearly so nice. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't move. Don't come any closer to me.
Okay. You don't need a gun to keep me off.
It's pointing right at you. I know how to use it.
You might try using your brains instead.
Don't try.
I'm not trying anything. All I am is a passenger on this train.
Sure, you'd have to say that.
I never saw you before, and I'm sure you never saw me before.
I never saw the man who tried to kill me before either.
Tried to kill you where?
Back in town?
But you did see him.
Well, not really. It was dark. He was in a car. He shot at me.
Well, what did the police say about it?
I didn't go to them. I had to make the train. Why am I telling you this?
I inspire confidence in small children.
I'm not a small child.
You're acting like one. If you let me reach into my breast pocket, I'll show you my credentials.
Credentials?
Yeah, my name's Craig. I'm a confidential investigator.
You get your credentials, but you be careful.
Oh, I'll be very careful. Nothing lethal about a card case, wallet. I'll dump them on a chair here, and then I'll move away. Now, you can look at them without disturbing your aim.
All right. Barrie, Craig.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Forget it. Now, put the gun away.
Yes.
Good. Now, what's your name?
Ruth Adams.
How do you do? And why would anyone be taking pot shots at you?
I don't know.
Any attempts on you before tonight?
No.
Well, what's special about tonight? This train trip?
Maybe. I've never gone up before.
Gone up to where?
Dawning.
The girl was small, but not skimmed. She was pleasant to look at. Or would have been had she not been suffering from complete panic. The fact that she was getting off at dawning might have been a coincidence. I found out back in the club car. Another drink?
No, thanks. I feel a lot better already.
Fine. Now, you're getting off at dawning.
Yes.
And then you're going on to the tower house.
Oh.
Well, don't freeze up. My knowledge isn't necessarily guilty knowledge. Or why the old tower house?
My uncle lives there. It's his house.
Mark Reed?
You know him?
Well, he's the reason I'm on this train. He phoned me, wanted me to come out immediately.
Well, I got a telegram from him. It was surprising because I haven't seen him since I was a baby. He had a fight with my father.
And your mother was his sister?
Yes.
Is she alive?
No, she died years ago.
And your father?
He's dead, too.
Oh, don't think I'm just being nosy. I'm trying to find a pattern in... you know if your uncle has any other relatives besides yourself?
Alive? No.
Uh-huh.
Well, have you found that pattern?
The beginnings of one, maybe. The rest will have to wait until we get to the house, which won't be long now.
We got off the train. It turned out we were the only people who got off the train. Maybe because dawning turned out to be nothing but a decaying wooden shack by the side of the tracks.
This can't be dawning.
Well, it is. Sign on that shack says so.
But...
Hiya, folks.
Easy, Ruth. It's a cabbie.
Buggy's all ready for you, folks. Take you right into Dawning.
I'd hoped we were in Dawning.
No. This here's only the railroad station. Town's a couple of miles south.
Uh-huh. Well, lead the way.
I don't have to ask you folks which hotel you'd like to stop at. Reason is there ain't but one in Dawning.
We're not going to a hotel.
Oh, visiting friends, huh?
That's right. Mark Reed.
Reed?
Yes, at the old Tower House. You know where it is?
Yeah, I know where it is. It ain't south like the town. It's north a bit. Not very far. Just walk up the road here about a mile and a half.
Oh, hold on. We're hiring you to take us there.
No, you ain't.
Why not?
Well, the further I stay away from that place, the happier I am.
Well, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. I never investigated.
Well, you could be wrong.
Well, I don't want to find out, mister. Would you and the young lady like some good advice? Train's back to the city coming through in an hour. Stay here and get on it.
Well, I'm not that crazy about trains.
Well, you'll thank me for that advice someday.
Well, I'll thank you right now. We're still going to the Tower House tonight. If you're afraid to drive us there, take us into Dawning. We can get another cab there or maybe rent a car.
Okay, mister. Get in.
Ruth?
Uh-huh.
I'll take you to the Tower House.
Thank you.
Didn't have to make no crack about my being afraid.
But you are.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe the reason you're so brave is because you don't know what you're getting into.
I didn't know, but I didn't have to be brave about anything. I was going to visit an old friend in the country, that's all. Or was it?
Barrie, I don't like this.
Well, I've been in better cabs.
There's a feeling about this trip. In the middle of the night to an old house. I love lights and people, Barrie.
Now, take it easy. Once we get to the house, it ought to be comfortable enough. Mark's a wonderful host. And it looks like we're practically there. Well, high stone wall, gate.
This is it, folks.
Oh, that gate's open. Must lead to a private road. You can turn in and...
Well, the house is about a half a mile from the highway here.
Well?
This is where you get out.
You were hired to take us to the house.
This is as far as I go.
I could make you change your mind.
Please, Barrie, don't.
Okay, let's go. How much?
$2.
Uh-huh. $2. You can keep the change.
What change?
The tip is for your courtesy and cooperation.
Think you're smart.
Get out of the cab and we'll discuss it.
You think you're smart?
Somebody must love him, but it must be uphill work.
Barrie, I'm terrified.
Oh, come on. There's nothing to be afraid of.
No, nothing that we can see.
It wasn't too pleasant a half mile. The girl was frightened. The wind was blowing up. There'd be rain soon. The darkness was complete, and I didn't have the beginning of an idea of what we might be walking into.
I don't like that.
The thunder?
It was so loud. Who knows what it might wake up.
No. That was only a dog.
That was the hound of the Baskerville, but I want to go home.
The house is right up ahead on that rise. 50 yards more, and...
That dog is getting closer.
That's a pet.
Whose? Dracula's?
There he is.
There he is. He's going to jump at us.
Doesn't look vicious.
He's as big as a horse.
Oh, here, boy. Here.
You're encouraging him.
No. Easy, boy, easy. That's a fine animal. He's more afraid of us than we are of him.
We got a better reason.
He's quieting down. That's a good boy. Come on. We'll take him to the house with us.
I hope they like dogs here. Is that the house?
It must be.
Oh, I don't like it. It looks like a tomb, and Grant never was up here, so...
Oh, it's just an old house. Architect had a lousy sensibility.
Barrie, the dog.
Well, what's the matter, boy? What's the matter?
Well, he stopped dead. Barrie, he's staring at that house as though...
As though he didn't know it, that's all. Come on, he'll follow us.
He's not following us. Well, he's running away, Barrie, in panic.
Well, he's a neurotic hound, that's all. Let's stop worrying about him. Your uncle asked us to come down. The house maybe isn't pretty, but so far we haven't seen anything wrong.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barrie, knock.
There's a bell pull here.
Oh.
Not exactly a happy tinkle, but...
I'm not sure for whom that bell's tolling, but I hope it's not for us.
I hope somebody answers it soon.
Somebody dressed in the latest in shrouds. I know I'm being silly, but if I weren't, I'd be screaming.
Now, you stick to being silly, while I stick to...
And maybe everybody went to the movies, huh? Oh, there you are.
Hello, I hope we haven't waked you, but, well, I'm Barrie Craig, and this is Miss Ruth Adams.
About it.
Mr. Reed asked us down.
Who?
Mr. Reed, Mark Reed.
No, Mr. Reed here. You better go.
Here, now, wait a minute. This is the old tower house, isn't it?
It is.
Then Mark Reed's here.
You're insane.
Now, that's my foot blocking your doorway. Now, Mark Reed's here. He owns the house. He phoned me earlier tonight, and he sent Miss Adams a telegram asking us both to come down here.
He didn't phone. He didn't send a telegram. He doesn't live here.
Well, maybe you don't know him. How long have you been?
I've been a housekeeper here for 20 years. Never heard of any Mr. Reed. There's no Mr. Reed here. Go away.
You could be making an honest mistake. You better step away from the door, though. We're coming in.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
Oh, reinforcements?
Got a gun, Barrie?
The complete householder.
I have a gun, and I'm prepared to use it. Mrs. Dunn, what is all this?
A story about a Mr. Reed.
Reed?
I'll spell it for you.
That won't be needed. Why are you trying to force your way into my house?
We were invited here.
By whom?
Reed. Oh, maybe I'm getting monotonous, but it's still Reed.
That doesn't explain your presence on my doorstep.
This is his home.
Fiddlesticks. I purchased this house 21 years ago. It is mine. My name is Loomis.
Barrie?
I don't know. My head's starting to spin. Now, Mr. Loomis, has this house always been known as the Old Tower House?
It is known by that name now. Always is a long time. It has been called the Old Tower House ever since I have lived here.
Well, for a lead nickel, I'd buy the theory that Reed was a ghost. But ghosts don't make phone calls. They don't send telegrams.
I'm not very well acquainted with the habits of ghosts. I suggest you carry on your investigation into their customs elsewhere. I should like to shut the door.
Oh, sorry, but that rain's pretty strong now. Our cab's gone back to town. Mind our coming in and phoning for another one?
We have no phone.
Well, in that case, we'll accept your hospitality.
I haven't offered it.
You're not going to send a lady out in that rain.
Well, come in, please.
Thanks.
Mrs. Dunn, will you prepare a couple of the guest rooms for Miss...
Adams.
For Miss Adams and Mr. Craig.
Yes, Mr. Loomis.
You can wait here in this room.
We'll wait.
I don't care for guests in my house. Under the circumstances, I cannot help myself. I hope you will find your rooms comfortable, but I do not greatly care. Good night.
He's been taking lessons in how to become the perfect host.
Thanks for trying to cheer me up. It's all so strange. Barrie, where is my uncle?
I don't know. Do you have the telegram with you, the one he sent?
Well, I think... no, not with me. It would be in my bag in another purse.
Oh, your bag. That reminds me. I left it outside on the doorstep. I'd better go get it before it gets drenched to the pigskin.
Come back quick.
Well, don't worry. Now, where did I put... For the second time that night, I was out on Mr. Loomis's doorstep. I began to feel like little Eva heading the wrong way. That didn't work. It would have to be the bells again.
Who the devil? Oh, you.
Me. I was getting Miss Adams' bag when the door blew shut.
Come in, come in.
Ruth. Not in the room I left her. That scream must have come from farther down the hallway. Now, what's this room?
Yes, the library.
Ruth! The door's locked. Where's the key?
I don't know. Mrs. Dunn looks after the keys.
Well, there's no time. Excuse me while I try to ruin a library door.
No, look here.
I'm too busy.
The library's empty.
Not exactly. On the floor near the fireplace. Ruth. Ruth's the size of a baseball on the back of her head.
She may have fallen.
Or been struck. Ruth. There. Take it easy.
My head hurt.
It should. What happened?
Someone hit me from behind. I didn't see.
What made you come to this room?
I heard groans, and then the door was open.
Groans?
From him.
From who?
The man in the chair near the desk. I can't look at him. He was grinning at me.
Yeah, let's get you up now. Come on. There. How's that?
I'm all right.
Fine. Now, which man in what chair?
Right there in that...
There's nobody in that chair.
Your rooms are ready.
There was someone. A man, a middle-aged man. His eyes were staring straight ahead, and there was blood on his shirt, a lot of blood.
Now, take a deep breath. There's no hurry.
He died as I came in. I could feel the cold air of death on my skin. He grinned at me, and he died.
Oh, this girl is hysterical. This room's always kept shut.
The windows? Boarded up. Only one door. Maybe it was your imagination, Ruth.
No. She did see something.
What?
I've lived in this part of the country all my life. That's how I know. The man she saw was the former owner of this house. He died with a bullet through his heart. In this room. In that chair.
And I was right.
The only thing is, it all happened 80 years ago.
That slowed conversation down to nothing. I took Ruth up to her room. Checked it, made sure no one would be able to get in once she locked the door behind her, and then I started out.
Barrie?
Yes?
Before I realized that man in the library was dead, I touched him. Then I wiped my hands on his handkerchief. Look at it, Barrie.
Okay. Yeah.
It was blood I wiped off my hands. Do ghosts who died 80 years ago still bleed?
I didn't have a good answer for that. I just made sure she locked her door, and I went off to my room and tried to sleep. I had my troubles. I was glad when morning arrived, along with the eggs, bacon, and coffee. Well, it's a nice breakfast, Mrs. Dunn.
Yes, sir.
I trust you slept well, Miss Adams?
Yes, I slept well.
Yeah, good. That will be your taxi, Mr. Craig.
Well, right on time. Glad he let us finish breakfast. You ready, Ruth?
I'm ready.
All right. Thanks for your hospitality, Mr. Loomis.
Not at all.
We'll find our own way out. Well, what do you know? Mr. Loomis was telling the truth. Let's take a taxi, huh? We got into the cab and drove away. It took a little longer for Ruth to start worrying about it than it had taken me.
Barrie, the cab driver, it's the same one as last night.
Yes, quite a happy coincidence.
Coincidence?
Keep your voice down. No coincidence at all. Our boy up front is working dirty hand and glove with dear Mr. Loomis.
How do you know?
Oh, we found out last night there was no phone at the house. How did Loomis manage to get a cab out here so early in the morning?
Oh. Then, after he tried to frighten us away from the tower house, the cab driver stayed here.
Uh-huh.
What are you going to do with that gun?
Apply the back end of it as soon as he slows up for the turn. Like this. I hadn't any choice. He disapproved of our low-voiced conversation. He was reaching for his own gun when I lent him mine, behind the ear. The car stalled, which was nice. I tied him up, Dumped him at the side of the road and went back to the old tower house.
The dog, he's crying, Barry.
Yeah, on the side of the house. At the cellar door.
Oh, he's running away.
Probably decided we're friends of Mr. Loomis. This is what he was listening to from the cellar.
That sounds like digging.
Let's go down and check.
Barry, Mr. Loomis, he's digging a hole. That body.
Ghost you saw last night. That's Mark Reed, Ruth. And what Mr. Loomis is digging is a grave. Isn't it, Mr. Loomis?
What?
No comments. Or have you been working too hard?
Get out of here.
I don't think so. Why did you murder Reed?
I didn't. He shot himself.
And you're trying to protect his good name?
Very well. I did murder Mr. Reed. A gentleman with a great deal of cash on hand. Cash he was going to leave to your charming companion.
You reel it off so well, keep going.
I have better ideas for that money. Mark Reed became frightened of Mrs. Dunn and myself, who'd worked for him for so long. He sent for you. I tried to have the cabbie keep you from coming here, but...
Well, such frankness on your part wouldn't be wise, would it? Unless something's changed. Your voice changed quality a few moments ago. Lots of changes. What happened? Mrs. Dunn show up at the head of the stairs with a gun in her hand?
Quick, shoot!
She wasn't quick enough. Amateurs never are. They don't realize how heavy a pull you need on a trigger. Don't worry about her, Mr. Loomis. I just winged her shoulder.
I'm not worrying about it.
I should have realized that. Courtesy stops outside the death cells, doesn't it? We got them all into the cab and drove to Dorning. Very nice jail. They're glad to welcome Mr. Loomis, Mrs. Dunn, and the cab driver. Mark Reed went elsewhere.
I wish he'd asked you to come to him earlier.
You'd have liked him, but forget it if you can.
I'll try. Barry, when we were in the cellar, Mrs. Dunn came in, but not from the outside.
From a fake door in the library is where she came. I expected her.
But how did...
You yourself told me when you went into the library, you felt a breath of cold air on your skin. But the windows were all boarded up, as I mentioned, so...
You knew there had to be another door. To the cellar, as it turned out. You know, this is a much nicer trip than the one yesterday.
Mrs. Dunn had just tried to kill you then. You were traveling deeper into danger. Now, about the only danger you're in, unless you get to the other side of the car...
Is, danger of this, sir? Hmm?
Uh-huh.
Barry.
Yeah?
I got a secret.
What?
I'm not afraid.
Maybe. But I am. Next week's story is called The Corpse That Couldn't Swim. Of course, we didn't really know whether he could swim or not.
To William Gargan.
He was dead when we met.
Exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Ghosts Don't Die in Bed, was written by Louis Vittes. We regret that with the program you have just heard, we conclude the present Barrie Craig series. We hope you have enjoyed them, and we look forward to bringing them to you again sometime in the not-too-distant future. We would like to call your attention to the fact that next week Dragnet changes time of broadcast, and also that next week Lux Radio Theater joins the NBC network on Tuesday night for your better listening pleasure. Consult your local newspaper for the time of broadcast of the Lux Radio Theater over this NBC radio station. The National Broadcasting Company has brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan, starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, directed by Arthur Jacobson. Also heard were Jack Moyles, Charles Lung, Betty Lou Gerson, and Virginia Gregg. This is John Lang speaking. Here is some information that will help you to know more about CARE, C-A-R-E. The letters stand for Cooperative for American Remittances Everywhere, Incorporated. It is a non-profit organization specifically set up by America's mass relief agencies to provide an effective, economical way for Americans to send food and other essentials to needy persons overseas on person-to-person basis. CARE is approved by the United States government and works under favorable agreements with countries abroad. You may send a CARE package to a specific person or group. Simply give your name and address, and the name and address of the recipient, and you will receive a signed receipt upon delivery. If you do not know someone abroad you want to help, one of CARE's member agencies will choose a needy family for you. $5 delivers the new basic CARE food package containing 26 pounds of meat, beans, sugar, and milk powder. $10 will send the larger standard package. Remember, freedom is threatened when starvation and suffering persist. Food will help whip communism in economically weak countries. Send your contribution today to CARE, C-A-R-E, New York. This is the NBC Radio Network.
Welcome, everyone, to Heartbeat Theater. This is your host, C.P. McGregor, inviting you to be the guest of the Salvation Army for the next half hour. Our star this week is Janet Scott. The psychiatrists tell us of the very fine line dividing sanity and the trouble-shadowed world of the other side. They tell us how easy it is to cross that line, and that sometimes we aren't aware that it's been crossed. In our story this week, The Ghost of Danton Hill, a woman believes she has passed the line. But has she passed it or been pushed over it? Our story was written by Christopher Young and stars Janet Scott as Deidre Danton. Here now is Act One of The Ghost of Danton Hill.
It wasn't as though I hadn't heard them talking. I say them, when a singular pronoun would be more proper, for it was he who always did the talking, planning, scheming. And sweet child that my niece was, Angie never suspected. But I knew. Creeping senility was his theme in talking about me, but Angie wouldn't accept it. Then he changed his tactics. So smooth he was, so impeccably persuasive. I knew his kind. My typewriter wrote of Gilbert long before I'd met him or Angie had married him. He was the villain in Springfield Revisited, even to the nightmares that Gilbert so often had. Oh, those were the days. My books at the peak of their popularity, and Mr. Danton still alive. Such a thing could never have happened to Deidre Danton then. Oh, why do I ramble so? The fact remains, he talks, and Angie listens.
Well, what do you think, Angie?
Oh, Gil, you know I'm not too bright about real estate or any of your business deals for that matter.
Well, you get the picture, don't you?
Gil, is it honest?
When you're talking about business, the meaning of honesty broadens. If you mean, is it legal? Yes, 100%.
But you said that only 10 years ago all of this property was underwater. What's to keep it from happening again?
Right now, the lake is at the lowest point in history. It would take 5 consecutive years of double that normal rainfall before that property would be underwater again. Do you know what odds there are against that happening?
Are there any more for the number of dry years it took to create this area?
Believe me, Angie, it's the chance of a lifetime. People want to invest in land, vacation property. Cabin sites are at a premium.
Oh, aren't you talking about the impossible anyway? $40,000.
Which could be resold at $400,000.
$40,000, Gil. You don't have $4,000.
Oh, sweetie. Sweetie, honey, you don't work with cash on deals like this. Some good legwork, planning, a little whining and dining, especially of the right man at the bank. And the whole deal is swinging for under $16,000.
Gil, that's a fortune, and you just don't have it.
So what am I supposed to do? Let the opportunity of a lifetime slip through my fingers because Auntie Deirdre insists on tying up a fortune in a box full of stodgy old stocks and bonds?
She's 73 years old. Her books don't sell the way they used to. You can't blame her for being conservative.
Oh, Angie. Angie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It's just that knowing she plans to leave everything to you and that it can't be forever before she either or becomes too senile to manage her own affairs. Well, I just get impatient and frustrated.
Oh, I think that's why you keep having those nightmares and headaches all the time.
Look, honey, let me show you this. Charlie Keith, you remember him, the advertising artist we met last month?
Oh, at the Peterson party?
Yes, that's right. He did this layout for me. No charge. I promised to cut him in. You see this color picture of the area as it is now? Just empty meadows covered with wild grass. The lake and the mountains for a backdrop.
Well, the view is nice, but the property is so barren.
Now you're talking like my first customer. So watch. Here we have a piece of celluloid with a lifelike drawing of a few cabins, trees, rustic road. You take it and you lay it on top of that first picture. Well?
Makes a big difference.
Well, that's the idea, Angie. We lure them with this ad. Then they get copies of this in the mail. People have no imagination, but show them this and you got a sale.
Very clever.
The $16,000 I mentioned, that includes this as well as advertising space, mailing expenses, the whole bit.
Oh, if you want me to, Gil, I'll ask Aunt Dee.
Oh, it's a waste of time, and you know it. I was thinking of taking a mortgage on the house.
Well, you can't do that, Gil. It's not ours.
Your aunt gave it to us, even put it in our name.
Which was only a beautiful gesture to show her regard for us. Put a mortgage on it, and it's the same as if you drew $16,000 from a personal account behind her back. Oh, please, Gil, I just won't hear of it. I mean it, Gil. As much as anything I've ever said to you.
Angie, honey, this is one chance to give you everything I've always wanted to give you.
Gil, it's an awfully big move. Your nightmares, headaches. What will happen with the pressure of a deal this size?
I don't know, Angie, but I plan to find out. Somehow or other, I'm going to get that money.
Terrible thing to eavesdrop. It's a characteristic I've always despised. But I'd never been alone before, nor had anyone ever plotted against me before. I knew the time was coming. I knew by the desperation that was reshaping Gilbert's face before my very eyes. Always planning, scheming, and my money was the key to all his ambition.
Good morning, Gil. I must have overslept.
You look so beautiful, I didn't want to wake you.
You don't have to say that. I'll make your breakfast anyway.
Well, to prove my sincerity, please note that I've already had breakfast. Oh. Not only that, but Auntie Dee joined me, and I'll have you know she said I boiled her eggs exactly right.
You must give me your secret.
Well, I used a stopwatch. But now, honey, to complete this generous gesture, let me pour your coffee, and then I'm going to get at the dishes.
No, I'll take the coffee, but you can leave the dishes. Day girl comes this morning.
Oh, fair enough. Don't understand how you get through the morning on just a cup of coffee.
3 cups, thank you. How'd you sleep last night?
Had 2 dreams, both pleasant. Sure makes a difference in when I get up in the morning.
Good morning, Angie.
Oh,
Gil.
Morning, dear.
Such a beautiful day. I thought I'd make a fancy breakfast for us all.
What?
How about buttermilk pancakes and Canadian bacon? I'll put the coffee on. Oh, you've already made some. Well, I'll put another pot on.
Well, Aunt Dee, you know how Angie is. She can't get more than a cup of coffee in the morning.
Well, you and I can eat, and she can nibble a little.
But well, that is, you and I just ate.
What do you mean?
Breakfast. I let Angie sleep, and I made his breakfast.
Sure you didn't have a dream, Gilbert?
I'll bet you fell back to sleep, Aunt Dee.
Nonsense.
But, Auntie, look at the sink with the dishes. 2 cups used for coffee.
I see.
You just don't want Angie to know how perfectly I made those eggs for you.
Eggs? No, of course not.
Now, look, darling, we can prove the whole thing. Are you or aren't you hungry?
I'm not in the least hungry. I think I'll go work in the garden for a while.
How strange.
It's a little frightening.
Yes. Yes, it was.
That was the first thing that happened. Only a week later, I wanted to do some work, and my typewriter was missing. That evening, Gilbert reminded me that I'd asked him to take it in for an overhaul. Even Angie remembered my mentioning it needed work. But I would never have asked him to take it out during that period. I was in the middle of a very important chapter. But all they had to do was to remind me of the breakfast I had forgotten, and I could argue no longer. There were other things, forgotten things, lost things, and the talk continued. More and more of it. I had to know what they were saying about me, and so I'd sneak down the hall and listen through their door at night.
I'm really worried about her, Gil.
Well, things haven't been too easy for her since your uncle died. Honey, maybe she should have stayed upstate. All her friends are there.
Oh, I think when you get old, you want to be with your family. And Lord knows there are few enough of us left.
You were going to tell me about that letter from her brother.
Oh, yes, that was really weird. Well, you remember I told she had a brother, Wesley, who disappeared about 20 years ago?
Oh, yes, I remember.
Oh, disappeared sounds so melodramatic. He was a good man, according to Aunt Dee, but an alcoholic. There was something about the Salvation Army getting him off the liquor for a while, but when he went back to the bottle, he lost all his self-respect and told his wife she was better off without him. Well, no one in the family could ever find him again. Anyway, this morning she was all excited. Said she got a letter from him. Well, you heard her. It was just before you left.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't suspect anything. I shared the excitement for a while. But then I asked to see the letter.
You mean there wasn't any?
Of course not. She imagined the whole thing, poor dear.
Fantastic.
Well, she is old. I remember how mixed up my grandfather would get in his last years. He'd refer to something he thought happened the day before when actually it had been 30 or 40 years. Oh, it's so sad, Gil. I always thought of her as being so alert, actually young for her years.
Well, I guess I did, too. Of course, I won't deny if this keeps up, it puts us in a good position financially.
How can you think of things like that?
Well, I was just going to say, now that it's happening, I wish it hadn't.
Oh, I got a letter from Rita this morning.
Oh, your roommate from college?
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's in a real spot. She had her baby. Her husband is still overseas, and the baby nurse who was going to help out broke her leg. Skiing, of all things.
And sweet little Angie is going to play baby nurse for her closest friend.
You won't mind, will you? I'll only be gone a week or so, and she's so alone. Both only children, and their parents in the middle of Iowa and Texas. I just can't say no to her, Gil.
Oh, of course, honey. And don't worry. I'll humor Aunt Dee along.
Oh, I'll worry about the both of you. Gil, I wish you'd see a doctor about those headaches and nightmares.
Well, I sure had a beaut last night.
I know. You talked in your sleep. Run, 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 you kept saying over and over again. In your dreams, Gil, what do you keep running from?
I don't know. I just don't know. Wherever I'm headed, it seems big and important, and yet I'm not happy there either. Angie, did you ever look at yourself and think, boy, you're clever, and yet hate yourself for it?
No.
Well, let's forget it, huh? Can you reach the lamp?
Pleasant dreams, darling.
Humor me along. That was the way he put it. I'd outwitted a dozen of his kind in 300 pages. I was younger then. And now Angie was going to be hundreds of miles away for a week or longer. I was frightened. So very frightened. I slept late the following morning, waiting for Gilbert to leave. I had dinner ready the minute he came in, and each evening, as soon as the dishes were done, I found an excuse to leave. An early movie, research at the library, anything to avoid Gilbert. And even on the fourth night, when thunder warned me of a late spring storm, I called a taxi from the library just as it closed at 10. By the time I dismissed the cab at Danton Hill, the rain was coming down in torrents. I was surprised to see the house in total darkness. I feared for a moment that Gil had gone out, forgetting I never bothered to carry keys. But his car was in the garage. I was almost relieved to know he was at home. I rushed up the walk and was soaked by the time I reached the front door. I could hear the bell inside as I pressed. The record playing was going. Gilbert must have been having one of his headaches, for he always liked to play the masters while he waited for the pain to subside. I rang the bell again, and again, and again. Lightning burned the night, blue white, and somewhere I heard a dog barking. Why didn't he answer? Gilbert! Gilbert, let me in! I'm soaked! It's frightening out here! Gil, let me in! Why didn't he answer? The dog's barks turned to howls, and then a sudden bolt of lightning outlined a figure all in black, its arms raised, not 10 feet away from my own front porch. Gilbert, please, let me in! Let me in!
That was Act One of The Ghost of Danton Hill, starring Janet Scott as Deidre Danton. To most human beings, the unknown is a fearful thing, full of haunting terrors, misty shapes, and weird sounds conjured up primarily by man's own overactive imagination. We think of the unknown as evil, but if we analyze the word unknown, we find it means merely not known. That experience is lacking on a certain subject. This does not constitute a logical basis for fear, yet you and I still fear the unknown. We have to be taught not to. The Salvation Army constantly works with the unknown in all its varied forms, and yet does not fear it. One of their jobs is to show us why we needn't fear it either. Because they and we believe in the power of one about whom was written, "I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." With this strength, the unknown becomes no longer evil and fearful, but simply not known. Simple and effective. Try it. Now, Act Two of The Ghost of Danton Hill, starring Janet Scott.
Sorry, Angie, but I had to ask you to come home right away.
You said something about hallucination?
Well, I don't know what else to call it. She went out right after dinner last night, but was only gone an hour. It was obviously going to storm, and I guess she figured she'd better get home, and she went right to bed.
Well, that'd be about 8 o'clock.
Yes. Well, it started about 10:30. She was screaming from her room, something about, "Gil, let me in, please let me in." I tried to talk to her, and she went into this wild story about being locked out in the rain, pounding on the door.
Oh, that poor dear.
Then there was something about a dog howling, and to top it off, she said there was some black figure threatening her, like a ghost, she said.
I can hardly believe it.
Well, I didn't know what to do. I figured I'd better call the doctor.
Of course.
He gave her a sedative, and, well, that was maybe midnight. About 1, I realized I just had to call you.
Oh, I better be in there when she wakes up.
Oh, Angie, honey, I left out some of the details, the accusations she made against me. I don't see any reason to go into them, but I don't know if I can take much more of this.
I'll talk to the doctor. I guess we'll have to do something.
Well, if you're going in there, I better put on some more coffee.
Oh, I'd love some.
Well, just prepare yourself for anything she may say.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
I'm not asleep, Angie. I've been praying for you to come home.
Is there anything I can get you?
No.
Oh, here. Let me fix the pillow for you. There now.
It seems like it was all a dream now.
Oh, that's probably all it was.
But it was so real, so terrifying.
Gil's dreams are that way, too.
I can't help wondering about myself. It seems only yesterday when I thought of anyone of 73 years old as being weak of mind, feeble, crumbling. I don't feel that way, Angie. Really, I don't.
And you're not.
I'm not sure anymore. You're all I have in the world. Such a small family, so few of us left. I need you, Angie. I need you for encouragement. Tell me I'm not just a foolish old woman. Tell me.
Oh, now, that's absolute nonsense, and you know it.
Do I? I have to think about it, Angie. I have to do lots of thinking. person losing his sanity is not necessarily aware of the fact himself, but I wasn't ready to accept it. These things could all be explained. Gil could have lied about the typewriter. He could even have written a letter from Wesley and then destroyed it. For all I knew, he was the shadowy figure on the porch. I had to know. And then I thought of Brian, Wesley's son, Brian Peck. Why, he'd be in his 30s, Santa Barbara. He was married and living in Santa Barbara, California. If he was anything like his father, he'd be a good man. He would come and get me, take me to California. I called the long-distance operator, and she found a listing for him. Then at bedtime, I set my little alarm for 5 a.m. It would be 8 or 9 in California, I wasn't sure. But at least Angie and Gil would be sleeping.
Well, Aunt Dita, I just don't know what to say. These things you told me about,
They're unbelievable, Brian. I realize that. And I'll admit I'm not sure whether they're actually happening or I'm imagining them, or Gilbert is carrying out a diabolical scheme.
Well, I've got to do something. It's been years since I've seen you, but I never forget how much time and money you spent trying to locate Dad when he disappeared.
Oh, I think of Wesley so often. I just know he'll turn up one of these days.
Turn up? Well, Aunt Dita, didn't you get my letter last month?
Letter?
About Dad. He came back to us just last February. He was a very sick man. He passed away a month ago.
Oh, no. No, Brian, I never saw the letter.
Well, from what you already told me, I know I had the right address. I located you through your publisher.
Brian, you have to help me. I just can't travel by myself. But if you'll come for me, I'll pay all your expenses.
Well, Auntie, it's almost impossible. I'm in missile work for the government, and, well, I might be able to swing 2 days, one to fly there and one to fly back with you.
Fly? Oh, no. No, I couldn't do that. It was just last year I lost your uncle in a plane accident. I just couldn't...
Oh, look, Auntie, I'm late now, but I promise you I'll do something. I think I have an idea, though it's impossible.
Brian. Hello, Brian, are you there? Hello, operator, someone. Hello, Brian. I lay there thinking. It didn't really bother me that we were cut off, if that's all that it was. The first light of dawn appeared through the window. I'd close my eyes and try to sleep some more. He would help. Brian would help me. I'd hardly noticed the steps in the attic above when I heard the voice. Sure. The very words, the very sound my dear husband had muttered so often in his sleep. Over and over they echoed through the room. I kept telling myself, Deirdre, you're dreaming. Wake up. Deirdre, wake up. Please, wake up.
Pour me some, too, will you, Gil?
Full cup?
Mm-hmm. You had trouble sleeping again last night, didn't you?
Why, no, why?
Well, I thought I heard you get up.
Oh, well, I had a little indigestion, and I got something for it.
I think I'll bring Auntie her breakfast in bed.
That won't be necessary, Angie.
Oh, morning, darling.
I want you to make an appointment for me with a doctor, a psychiatrist.
Auntie D, what's this all about?
And you'd better have my lawyer drop by here, too.
Auntie, what is it?
But during the night... Well, no matter. I guess I'm older than I realized.
I'll call Dr. Jeffries right away if you want me to. Well, I'm sure he can recommend someone.
I'd appreciate it.
Oh, honey, you'll have to wait till I get downtown and call the phone company.
Is it out of order?
Since last night. I tried to make a call about 10:30, and I checked it just 10 minutes ago. It's still on the blink.
You mean the phone hadn't been working all that time?
Afraid not.
Angie, please do what I asked you as soon as you can, please. It happened again the very next night. Only this time I was ready for it. I was sick, and soon would be seeing someone who would help me. That's all it was. The voice was in my mind. It had to be. Mr. Danton was dead for over a year. There are no such things as ghosts. Danton Hill wasn't haunted. I was.
Hello?
Is Mrs. Deidre Danton there, please?
Well, she's resting right now. This is her niece. May I help you?
Oh, perhaps. I'm Major LaSalle of the Salvation Army here in town.
Oh, yes, Major LaSalle. I believe we've met. I was a guest at the Home League meeting several weeks ago.
Well, I just learned that your aunt is the Deirdre Danton, and I'm about to take advantage of a celebrity in our community. Are you familiar with the League of Mercy activities?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, it's not too unlike the Home League in some respects, although men are welcome in this group, too. We visit hospitals and rest homes and, well, simply try to spread a little cheer wherever we can.
Which sounds like a wonderful old-fashioned idea. I thought that kind of thinking had gone out of style.
Well, anyway, whenever possible, we try to secure a guest speaker whom we feel would be an inspiration. We have a meeting coming up at the Crestview Senior Citizens Home, and we'd consider it an honor and a privilege if your aunt would speak about her work.
I hate to answer for her. She hasn't been too well, and, well, yet this might do wonders for her. Would you mind dropping over and talking to her about it?
Why, I'd love to. Would this afternoon be all right?
Well, I think so. I have some shopping to do, but I'll tell Aunt Dee to expect you.
Thank you very much, and I do hope we meet soon.
Mrs. Danton, I suspect I've made you talk more than you wanted to.
No, not at all. I feel better just having told you everything that happened.
And I'm afraid I deliberately led you into talking about yourself.
Deliberately?
Mrs. Danton, I'm most sincere in wanting you to lecture for the League of Mercy. But I will admit that the invitation was, something of a device to meet you.
That's very flattering, but it was hardly necessary.
No, I don't think you understand. You see, all the recent events you've just told me about were made known to me before I came here.
Angie's talked to you?
No. Brian, your nephew.
What?
You see, you didn't imagine the phone call to him. It took place. So naturally, I can't help believing that there's an explanation for everything that took place.
I didn't imagine the phone call?
With your permission, I'd like to talk to my husband about this.
Yes, anything you say.
Now, it won't be possible to check on everything, and playing Sherlock Holmes is a little out of my line, but now there are only 2 cabs in this town, Jess Purdy's and Sam Allen's. I'm sure we can find out what time either one of them brought you home from the library the night of the storm.
And if it was after 10, then I didn't imagine that either.
No.
Excuse me, but I'm still a little confused. Brian must have called you.
Yes, of course. We've never met, but he's quite active as a volunteer in Salvation Army work. And he has a long list of personal experiences with the Army.
And he asked you to look into my situation.
Evidently, his hands were tied, but ours aren't.
And I'm beginning to feel mine aren't either. Major LaSalle, you can count on me for that League of Mercy program next week. And so, my friends, you can see my characters are all quite fictional. Consider, for example, the book I'm beginning right now. It's the story of an ambitious man. A man who stopped at nothing to better his own material wealth. A man who deceived his lovely wife. A man who played ghost and tried to frighten the very life out of an elderly woman by such unlikely devices as recordings that he played from the attic in the middle of the night. A sick man. Hardly the type of thing that ever really happens. I only hope the ending isn't too unbelievable. For the victim of his insidious plot decides not to bring charges against him. Instead, the elderly woman decides to find for him the medical and psychiatric help she was convinced she needed for herself. Hardly a conventional ending for a novel of this sort, but it was inspired by the person to whom the book will be dedicated. Your own Mrs. Major LaSalle, a Salvationist dedicated to your well-being and the well-being of all people in need all over the world. A woman who, like Salvationists everywhere, fights evil with love. It's strange, but an enemy confounded with this unique weapon usually finds joy in his own vanquishment.
That was the final act of The Ghost of Danton Hill, starring Janet Scott as Deirdre Danton. Listen again next week for another Heartbeat Theater story. Heartbeat Theater is a presentation of the Salvation Army and is one of the programs selected to be heard by our men and women overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Until next week, this is your host, C.P. McGregor, saying thanks for listening and have a happy week ahead.
Nicky, darling, that's not it.
It isn't, Nora?
No, it goes like this. 33 fine brews blended into one great beer.
Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer presents The New Adventures of the Thin Man with Nick and Nora Charles, the happiest, merriest married couple in radio. Every Tuesday night at this same time, that international favorite Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer proudly presents the finest in summertime entertainment. So, sit back, relax, and pour yourself a tall, foaming glassful of blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon while you listen to the stars of our show, Claudia Morgan as Nora and Les Clemaine as Nick, in tonight's adventure of the Thin Man entitled The Haunted Ham. Every once in a while, a man's wife gets the idea that her husband needs a change. Of course, the conscientious little homemaker never suggests that her husband change his wife. Well, this evening, we find the great ex-detective, Nick Charles, in a car with his lovely wife, Nora, and his good friend, Ebenezer Williams, driving through the countryside.
Nicky, look at that moon come up over those trees. Can you see anything as beautiful as that in the city?
Yes.
Oh, name it.
The moon over the polo grounds as the Giants and the Dodgers play a night game.
That just shows how badly you needed this change, doesn't it, Ed?
Yes, I reckon so. You've been working too hard, Nick.
Me? Working?
Yes, you got to get your nose out of that grindstone.
Ed, you, my partner, can say a thing like that?
Yeah, I got to get my nose out of the grindstone, too.
That grindstone's becoming crowded with noses.
Nora, the only thing we've had our noses in were comic books and detective stories.
That's right. Detective stories, comical books, detective stories. We was in a rut.
And you think we'll get out of it by going up to your farm, Ed?
Well, of course. It's about time we changed rut. Ed, listen, there's a fire engine coming up behind you.
Oh, better pull. I used to be a volunteer fireman around here in the days when I was sheriff.
Here comes the engine, Ed.
Yeah. Say, that's my old friend Newt, the fire chief.
Ed, he's stopping.
Yeah. Howdy, Newt.
Howdy, Ed. I thought that was you driving the car, and I stopped just to make sure. That's you, all right.
Reckon ain't nobody else.
Well, I'm awful glad to see you back, Eb.
Well, I'm glad to be back, Newt. Oh, this is my friends, Nick and Norrie Charles.
Howdy, folks. It's nice to know you.
Are you going to or coming from a fire, Mr. Newton?
Going to, of course. Say, Eb, did you hear that Shad Simmons had a calf with 2 heads last April?
Oh, what do you know?
Yes, but even with 2 heads, he ain't no smarter than one with one.
Is this a serious fire you're going to, Newt?
Well, I can't till I get there, my friend. Say, Eb, did you hear about Methuselah Marbrain?
Don't tell me that he finally married Belle May Bogardus.
Well, they set the wedding for September, but they postponed it.
Again?
Yeah, oh dear.
After him being engaged to her for 15 years.
Well, they had a good reason. They figured they'd wait till they was better acquainted. They didn't want to be hasty.
No, marry in haste, repent.
And lose, yes.
Whose fire are you going to, Newt?
Well, I'm awful glad you remind me of that, Ed, now. Silas Salem's, he's got a fire tonight. Would you like to come along and help?
Well, yes, I reckon so.
Well, just let me get there first. That's all I request. It makes a better impression on the taxpayers. Well, it was a pleasant chat, Eb. I'll see you at the fire.
Yeah, I hope you fellas won't put it out before we get there, Newt.
Oh, have no fear, Eb. We'll wait for you. All aboard, boys! Let out roar!
Does he always dash to a blaze like that, Ed?
Newt? Well, he ain't exactly speedy, but we elected him because he was the only one that can play the tubie in the fireman's band.
Here's the fire.
Good. And it ain't Silas's house burning tall. It's just his old barn.
Well, come on, Ed. Maybe we can rescue some of his livestock. Hurry up, Nora.
I am, Nick, but you leave me so anxious.
Oh, now, don't ruin my fun, baby. Ever since I retired from being a detective, I've been dying to rescue something, even if it's a cow.
Hi, Newt. Oh, hi there, Eb. Howdy, folks.
How's she burning, Newt?
Well, burning pretty good for a barn, Eb.
Have you got all the animals out of the barn yet?
Oh, yes, sure, yes. Had some awful queer-looking animals in there, though.
What kind?
Well, what you might call the city kind.
Dogs?
Well, that depends on your point of view. I heard them saying they've been treated like dogs.
Oh, well, they're people.
That depends on your point of view, too. They're actors. Real honest-goodness live actors.
Where's Silas?
Oh, he went back to farmhouse. He said he's got the barn insured, so there ain't nothing to worry about. He's been stabling them live actors because he says there's some kind of summer stock.
Oh, you mean they're a summer stock company.
Where is that fire chief? Where is he hiding?
That must be he over there, Master.
Looking for me, Bob?
I certainly am. I am the director and producer of this company. I am Greg Noyce.
Well, I'm Newton. Pleased to meet you, Mr. What'd you say your first name was?
You couldn't pronounce it. Just call me Grednoisky. Listen, our theater's burning. I'm
very glad to meet you, Mr. G. This here's my friend, Eb Williams.
Hey, Mr. G.
Hello, Master Fire Chief. Aren't you going?
Mr. G, I'd like you to meet my friends here, Nick and Norrie Charles.
How do you do?
I am doing terrible, thank you. Please, about that fire.
Ain't you going to introduce us to your lady friend, Mr. G?
This is Myra Mannix Arangenu. Now, please to meet you, Miss Mannix.
Cheers, greetings, salutations, and all that sort of rot.
Oh, are you British?
No, but we're putting on a jolly old British play, you know. Mr. Newton, old boy, aren't you going to do something about our theater? It's getting a bit overheated, you know.
What theater?
The barn. We made it into a theater. It's burning. Aren't you going to do anything about the fire?
Well, we're watching it, ain't we?
Watching it? You're supposed to put it out.
He's kind of excitable, ain't he, Ed?
Yes. Well, theatrical people, they got more nerves and voices than any other kind, you know.
Well, the barn will burn to the ground. Don't you want to put it out?
Why, of course not. Some of my boys might get hurt in a blaze like that. Besides, you can't put it out.
Why not?
Nature, my boy, nature. Too much fire and not enough water. But it sure looks awful pretty, don't it? Look at it.
Really? I'm going wacky. What?
Well, excuse me, folks. I'd better see to my boys. They're getting awful close to that fire. Don't you think so, Eb?
Yes, they might get a blister.
Oh, dear. Say, now, look, Eb, you stay here for a little while. You can see none of them actor people interferes with the blaze. And if it begins to spread, you call me.
Yeah, sure. You going back to town, Newt?
Oh, yes, I think I should. There might be some other fires for us to look at.
Well, Nick, he's leaving.
Yes. Well, they sure look dashing in those firemen's uniforms.
How does the siren sound? Great, Newt. Sounds just like an opera star.
Oh, that's good. Brand new one.
Oh, give her the gun, Willis. Well, Nick Norrie, that barn's practically burned to the ground now, so I reckon we can go.
All right, Ed. But I wonder what poor Mr. Godnoyski and his actress are going to do without a theater. Ed, you have a nice big barn on your farm, haven't you?
Yes, but don't say it's allowed.
Oh, it's too late. Here comes Rednoyski and his ingenue, and they've got an opening night gleam in their eyes.
Don't depart, Mr. Williams. Wait a moment.
Yeah, chums, we got great plans for you. Silas Salem says you've got a nice large barn. You great, big, mature Gary Cooper man, you.
Oh, I'm only human.
And such character in his face, like a writing Gregory Peck. Where do you keep your barn, and how much do you want for it?
Well, I don't know, folks. No, I wouldn't consider renting it. Not unless my business partner here says I should.
Oh? Mickey Wicky. Did anybody ever tell you you're gorgeous?
Yes, my wife.
Oh, that doesn't count.
With me, it does. I can't make up my mind without her advice.
Nora. Godnoyski. You adore her.
But I do. Would you like to be worshipped? I can make you a star overnight.
Well, I'm afraid we're not interested. You see, we came up here to get away from all the excitement and insanity of the city.
Madame, wouldn't you like to be a great star?
Well, every woman would like to be a great actress, but I'm different.
Well, if you won't help us, won't you at least listen to our tale of woe? Tell me, have you ever heard of Floyd Fresnay? Fresnay? Hasn't he something to do with the movie?
Why, yes, Nick. He's some sort of big-time agent.
He is a movie mogul, and he is backing this company. We are supposed to develop new movie stars, and when he finds out that we have no boss, oh, Myra, weep at them to show them how unhappy we are.
You mean no theater, no chance at Hollywood?
That's right, Nora. Of course, I despise the coast and the cinema with its pots of gold and lack of artistic standards.
But if Floyd Fresnay signed you up to go out there...
I'd gladly murder my dear grandma to get there.
Now, do you understand? We expect to see Floyd Fresnay any minute. He was going to come by for a dress rehearsal.
Hey, look, Godnoyski. Isn't that Mr. Fresnay's car now?
Yes. Myra, think of some brilliant excuse for this catastrophe.
Well, shall I tell him that we worked with an ardor so burning that the barn caught fire?
Hello there, SF. Greetings, Rednoyski. I have a wonderful explanation why the barn burned down. You've heard of the Chicago fire, no doubt? Heard of it. I saw it. In Technicolor. Colossal. Well, the same thing happened to us. Who would dream that there is a distant relative to Mrs. O'Leary's car?
Just a moment. No improvising. Everybody quiet. Who is she?
Nora Charles.
Come here, child.
Me?
Yes. There, your teeth.
There.
Do they bite?
You want to find out?
No.
Then get your hands off my face.
I'm just feeling the bony structure. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Who is he?
That has been.
Get rid of him.
Listen, Fresnay, who do you think you are?
Tell me, my man, does your wife have a figure as good as it looks?
What?
Well, you want to know, does she?
I certainly have.
Godnoyski, this woman has the most photogenic face and figure I've seen in 20 years. She's a new Garbo. I want to see her give a performance in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, mind you. Find another barn. I'll pay all the bills. Adios. Adios, FF.
Nora, this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah, and you'll be able to give us all a break.
Well, really,
Think of it. Your name, Eli. Lapinos, swimming pool, sable underwear.
Do you think I'm a foolish, silly girl like all the other girls in the world?
Yes. You're patriotic, aren't you?
I certainly am.
Then think of this. Your income taxes alone will make the government rich.
Mr. Godnoyski, I'd love to help you and your friends, but if you think I ever had any ambitions to be an actress, adored by the world, thrilling audiences, having my name and picture in the papers, just being too wonderful, you're absolutely right. Ev, how soon can we get the cattle out of your barn?
Adventures of the Thin Man, presented for your summertime entertainment by the makers of that international favorite, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. Say, Mr. Orchestra Leader, would you mind blowing that little pitch pipe of yours? Thank you. Now, again, please. And again. That's right. No matter how many times you sound that same note, it's always exactly alike. Just as every bottle, every glass, every taste of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer is always exactly alike, no matter where or when you buy it. The reason for that fresh, clean, sparkling taste, that perfect uniformity, goes back to the little tune Nicky was strumming on the piano at the beginning of this program. 33 fine brews blended into one great beer. Just think, every glass, every drop of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer contains never less than 33 fine brews. So be sure there's plenty of blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon cooling in your refrigerator, ready to serve to those unexpected guests when they drop in on a summer evening.
Irresistibly smushing. Lord Cornish, simple Betty? A gay laugh. You think that last ha was a trifle phony, Nick?
I think the whole thing's phony.
Oh, well, you're just saying that because Grednoisky only gave you a small part and I'm playing the lead.
Nora, do you really want to become a movie star?
Do you think I'd be acting this silly if I didn't?
But, darling, despite Floyd Fresnay, you just can't be a star overnight.
Grednoisky thinks I can, and he knows much more about it than you do, dear. And don't talk to me this way. You get me out of the mood. How's that?
Sounds like a coloratura soprano gargling with Drano.
Nicky, how dare you say a thing like that to me? We're opening tonight.
Now, Nora, don't get temperamental again.
Well, I've got to be temperamental. Every star's temperamental. And I'm furious with you. Give me something to smash.
Here. I collected some old glasses that Eb doesn't need. He says they're good for smashing.
Thank you. That's better. Now, but I do think you're terribly, irresistibly smushing, Lord Cornish. Simple, Betty? Gay laugh, oh dear. Nicky, don't you want me to be a movie star?
Well, darling, frankly, no.
Why not?
Why, I hardly ever see you anymore.
Oh, naturally, my career, you know.
But, baby, you dragged me up here to take care of me. I'm being neglected. You know what happens to neglected wives.
Well, you're not a wife, you're a husband. Don't you know anything, Nicky?
Well, you know what happens to neglected husbands. The same thing as happens to neglected wives.
Oh, don't be silly, dear.
Will you stop that laughing, please?
You behave yourself, or I get temperamental again.
Now, listen, baby, I don't think you should go on with this.
I knew it. You're jealous because I've got a career.
Okay. I'm jealous.
Well, darling, I let you have a career as a detective for years, and now you won't let me become a movie star. Is that fair?
No, darling.
Then why do you want me to give it up?
Because...
Don't you think I'm any good?
Frankly? Frankly, no. I said it, and I'm glad.
Give me a glass, please, Nicky.
Here, dear. Get rid of your disappointment. Hey, don't aim at my head. Nora, cut it out. I changed my mind. You're great.
I knew you'd alter your opinion. Oh, I'm decent.
Howdy, Nori. You're wanted on stage for rehearsal. And guess what? One of the actors just quit, and Mr. G, he gave me a part, too. I'm going to be Duke Lucyfoot Grenadier. Mr. G thinks I got a lot of plain, common, ordinary nobility.
Mr. G is a genius at discovering talent.
Yeah.
And, Nick, if you think I'm no good, just watch what happens at this dress rehearsal. But I do think you're terribly, irresistibly smushing, Lord Cornish, simple Betty. Gay laugh.
All right, Nora. We will take the big jealousy scene between you and Myra. Now remember, Nikolaus is your latest flame who doesn't burn hot enough. And Ebenezer is your philosophical advisor who hates you and loves you both together. Who said that?
Nobody, Mr. G. That's just one of my ducks.
I wish I were sure of that. It sounded like someone was whispering Russian insults in a loud voice.
Hear that? I taught the duck to talk Russian.
Well, that explains it. Come on with the scene.
So, you dare enter my home, Penelope? Yes, Lady Chatterley-Thorpe. To claim that which is rightfully mine. Mine. Duke Lucyfoot Grenadier, you have never given me bad advice. What shall I do, my dear Duke?
Ebenezer, do you have a cold?
No, that's just my cow peeking in the door.
Oh, he would make a wonderful actor. Beautiful voice. Proceed.
Throw the little scamp out in the gutter, from whence she rose, my dear, dear Lady Chatterley-Thorpe.
Lady Chatterley-Thorpe.
Yes, Colonel Biscay Rendango.
I can bear it no longer. Won't you call me Rumpy-Dumpy as you did when we romped in the castle together in our childhood?
I will never call you Rumpy-Dumpy again. That is all part of our hideous past. Colonel Biscay Rendango.
I deny that. To me, you will always be Princess Bunny Gunny, the golden-haired girl who taught me about life under the castle moat. What did you say, Goodnighty?
Nothing. It was the goat out there.
Oh, that's funny. He sounded just like you.
I have a more beautiful voice than that miserable goat.
Oh, yeah, Mr. G? Let me tell you, that's one of the finest goats in Crabtree County. I bet you can't make a noise as fine as that.
I certainly can.
The goat sounds better.
Myra, are you turning against me too?
Can I help it if the goat has a lovely vocal organ?
Will you stop this? The curtain goes up in 2 hours. I'm forced to talk to Nanny Goat. Speak.
Lady Chatterley-Thorpe, you are cruel beyond words. And I don't care what happens to me, even if I pay for this with my life. So there. Oh!
No, that's no way to scream when you're shot.
But I was trying to do it with a British accent.
Hi, Krednoisky. We'll show you how to make screams with an English accent. Like this.
Ah!
You see? You must scream like a lady.
Ah! Ah! No! Ah! Oh! 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 No!
With passion. That's better.
That was the rooster. Oh, you think I'm terrible, don't you? You think I can't act as well as that rooster?
I didn't say that.
Well, you're not much better than that nanny goat. Why do you let those animals come in here and upset me? I hate you all.
Nora, darling, come back here.
Don't have to do yourself. I'll eat you someday.
Nora, darling, let me into your dressing room. Please, baby. I've got to talk to you.
Nicky, hasn't she come out of there yet?
No, Myra. I've been trying to get in ever since she ran out of the dress rehearsal, but she won't open the door. When's the curtain?
In just a few minutes, and the people are coming in now. Floyd Fresnay's out there.
Throw the little scamp out into the gutter from whence she rose, dear. Dear Lady Chatterley-Thorpe. Business. Hi, Nick. How's Norrie?
She still won't talk to me. Eb, if she won't let me see her, I won't be able to go on either.
Well, me too. I can't go on with these nervous upsets. How can they expect me to give a performance?
You got nerves, too?
Yes, I have. I never had them till I become an actor, though.
Oh, how can she face those people with no confidence in herself? And I helped destroy her confidence. Nora, darling, open the door.
Hey, look, she's turning the handle. The door's opening.
Good evening, fellow players. If you wish to see me, enter.
Nora, darling.
I just want you to know, Nicholas, that despite your cruel and heartless discouragement, I shall give a performance that will make people's hair stand up. And no one will ever know that I'll be acting with an aching, breaking heart.
You will, Nora?
I will, Ebenezer.
Oh, gee. You're a great trooper, Nora.
Thank you, my little dear.
And, Nicky, sit on that chair.
Okay, but why?
So that I can get on your lap. Like this.
Myra, what's the idea?
Yes, this is indeed unusual behavior, even for an ingenue.
I'm doing it so that he can spank me easier. Nora, it was I who ruined all your rehearsals. I put food near the theater to make the animals come in the barn. I did it to ruin your career.
Oh, professional jealousy.
I greased the outside of your dressing room hoping that you'd break your leg. Oh, I've been awful. Because I studied your part and I wanted to play it and go to Hollywood and live in a mink-lined swimming pool. Now spank me, Nicky.
It will be a pleasure.
Thank you.
You don't have to enjoy it that much, Nick.
2 minutes and the curtain goes up, Norrie. The house is sold out. Good luck.
Well, Norrie, we all want you to go out there and show them people what you can do.
There are people out there? Real, live people?
Hundreds of them.
Oh, Nick, catch me. I think I'm dying.
Well, Nora, I'm encumbered.
I got it. Oh, thank you. Myra, thank heavens you told me you know my part. For heaven's sake, go out there and play it. What? My dear child, I am going to sacrifice my career for yours. Anyone who wants to live in a mink-blind swimming pool as much as you do deserves to.
Here, please. Give me your costume, Stuart. I got to change. I'll send you a free autograph from Hollywood. Oh!
What happened, Myra? Did you break your little neck?
No, I slipped on the grease I put there to break your leg.
Nora, darling, I think this is wonderful of you. What made you do it?
I'll tell you after the show, but let's go talk about hideous sauce, turtle, biscuit, and dangle.
Well, I can just imagine Nora telling Nick all about it after the show over a sparkling glass of Pabst Blue Ribbon. The beer. For instance, Gregory Peck, after a busy day on the studio set, likes to head for his ice box and a tall, foaming glass of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Wherever you go, from Hollywood to Honolulu, from Philadelphia to the Philippines, this famous beer is an international favorite. The beer that gives you 33 fine brews in every glass, every time. Taste it. Compare it. See why millions have settled down to blended, splendid Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. And now for the conclusion of tonight's Thin Man adventure.
Myra was wonderful as Lady Chatterlethorpe. Didn't you think so, Nicky?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad she got that contract from Floyd Fresnay.
She really played that part much better than I could have.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that, baby. You would have been great in it.
You didn't think so this afternoon.
I think so now, dear.
Oh, yes, when it's safe.
Well, Nora, I must confess, what worried me this afternoon was that you might have become a great star and you'd never have time to bother me or drive me crazy.
You really mean that, Nicky?
Yes, Nora.
Oh, that's why I gave up my career, darling. I think you're much sweeter than a mink-lined swimming pool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Nicky?
Yes, dear.
Oh!
Nora, what's the matter? What's wrong?
I just wanted to show you I could do that scream properly. Oh!
That's wonderful, Nora. The world lost another Helen Hayes in you.
I know it, my dear. I know it. But it's no more than any wife can do.
You mean every wife is a great actress?
She has to be, darling. And no professional acting in front of an audience could even touch the performances the average wife puts on for her husband.
You've got something there, dear. By the way, how'd you like me tonight?
Frankly, dear.
Frankly?
Frankly, you're a great detective.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll have you know that Floyd Fresnay was deeply touched by my interpretation of the role of Colonel Biscay Rendango.
Touched where, in the head?
He wants me to go to Hollywood.
What are they looking for, a new Boris Karloff?
You don't seem to realize what a talented man you're married to.
Oh, yes, I do, Nick. Are you going to take the offer?
No, baby. I'm giving up acting for the same reason you did. You're lovelier than sable underwear.
Why, thank you, Nicky. You know, dear, I don't think Lunt and Fontaine can throw as beautiful baloney to each other as we do. Here's your Oscar. Good night, Nicky, darling.
Be sure to listen next Tuesday night when Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer brings you another happy, merry Thin Man adventure starring Les Tremaine and Claudia Morgan. Next week, the adventure of the multiple marriage, when Nick and Nora acquire a daughter and discover that it's easier to stay married than to marry someone else. The Adventures of the Thin Man is brought to you by the Pabst Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Newark, New Jersey, and Peoria, Illinois. And this is Ed Hurley saying good night with the best wishes of Pabst Blue Ribbon dealers from coast to coast. Friends, three people are stricken with tuberculosis. Yes, that's the deadly menace of TB, one victim every 10 minutes, 50,000 victims each year. The lives lost through tuberculosis can be saved. The disease is curable. To stop contagion, those ill with TB must be found and treated. The sooner TB is detected, the quicker and easier the cure. Protect your health and your family's health. Have your chest x-rayed today.
Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest, Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns, present the challenge of the Yukon. It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, blazing the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers.
On King! On, Husky!
Gold discovered in the Yukon. A stampede to the Klondike and the wild race for riches. Back to the days of the gold rush. With Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice, bringing you the adventures of Sergeant Preston and his wonder dog Yukon King as they meet the challenge of the Yukon. Here's my idea of someone who's really smart. It's the person who sees to it that there's a supply of Quaker puffed rice or wheat on hand at all times. These ready-to-serve cereals hit the spot morning, noon, or night. They taste so swell because they're shot from guns, exploded up to 8 times normal size to make them crisp and tender. Wheat or rice shot from guns is nourishing, too. Makes a thrifty, easy-to-fix deluxe family breakfast with milk and fruit. Yes, here's a treat you'll want to repeat. That's Quaker puffed rice and Quaker puffed wheat. It was nearly midnight when Sergeant Preston shouted the command to King.
Gee, King!
The great dog turned to the right and led the team up the creek bank and into the little town of Gold Flats. King was working as a loose lead, breaking trail through the freshly fallen snow. And suddenly he swerved aside and headed straight for a warehouse on the left side of the street. The team followed as a matter of course.
What's the matter, boy? Hold it!
The dog stopped just short of a white mound in the shadow of the building and whined nervously as the sergeant ran up to join him.
Something here you want me to look at, boy?
He saw at once that it was the figure of a man, and after he had brushed away the snow...
He's dead, King. He's been shot. Shot in the back. We'll put him on the sled and take him to Jim's cabin.
The sergeant always stayed with old Jim Hanley while he was in Gold Flats, and a few minutes later they reached his cabin near the row of cafes that lined the main street.
That's you, Sergeant?
Yes, Jim.
What have you got on the sled?
A man. A dead man.
Jump into your horsefast. I'll give you a hand, Sergeant.
All right.
We can put him on that cot in the corner.
There.
I'll close the door.
Bring that lamp over, Jim.
I got it right here.
You know him?
I sure do. It's Matt Barrett. This is a harsh thing to say about anyone, Sergeant, but it's good riddance.
Why do you say that?
He was a bully for one thing, and for another, well, you've come here to investigate that express company robbery.
Yes?
I'd have to point him out as one of the men we suspect.
Who are the others?
Jeff Martin and the men who hang around with him. Jeff and Matt were partners in all kinds of devilment.
Could there have been a falling out between them?
Not only could have been, there was. They had a knockdown, drag-out fight at the Monte Carlo last night. Jeff got the worst of it, and he swore he'd get even.
Then we must suspect him of murder as well as robbery.
Looks like it to me. But this is one time a bullet did some good.
Crime's been committed, Jim. It's my job to see the criminals punished.
Well, I wish you luck, Sergeant. You'll find that Jeff is a tough customer, though, and smart.
He covers his tracks.
Snow covered the killer's tracks. How long ago did it stop snowing here?
About 2 hours.
The shot was fired sometime before that, and not very long before. There was only a thin layer of snow covering the body. I don't suppose anyone could have heard the shot if it was blowing as hard here as it was on the trail.
It was blowing all right, Sergeant.
A little before 10 o'clock. Well, first thing to do is find out where Jeff Martin was then.
It's early. If he's in town, most likely you'll find him in one of the cafes.
I'll take a look. Let's go, King.
The Sergeant King left the cabin, and 10 minutes later they found Jeff in the back room of the Monte Carlo. There were several hard-faced men sitting around the table with him. The sergeant ordered them out of the room, and then...
Well, Sergeant, you look mighty serious.
I am.
Somebody's been suggesting that I had something to do with the express company robbery. Is that it?
That's part of it.
Well, they're all wrong. I wasn't even in town the night it took place.
But you were in town tonight.
Sure.
Where? Between 9:30 and 10 o'clock.
Right here. I haven't left this table. You can ask any of the boys. What happened between 9:30 and 10?
A man was murdered.
Say, that's bad.
The man's name was Matt Barrett.
Matt's been killed? Well, Sergeant, that's more than bad. It's terrible. Matt was just about the best friend I had in the world.
Oh? You weren't too friendly last night.
Oh, you mean that little fight we had in here? Why, it didn't mean a thing, Sergeant.
You were beaten up and you swore you'd get even.
Well, I may have said something like that, but I wasn't serious. Matt was a pal, a partner. Believe me, Sergeant, I sure hope you find the man who killed him.
I'll do my best.
Sure. And I'll do everything I can to help you.
Just don't try to leave town, Jeff.
Of course not. I want to help.
You can start by sending in those men who were here.
All of them?
All of them. One at a time.
Sure thing.
The sergeant spent the next 2 hours in questioning all the men in the cafe. The few who had been playing cards with Jeff swore that he had never left the back room. From the others, he learned that Matt had been in the cafe shortly before he was killed. But there was no evidence to establish the identity of the killer. Matt was buried the following morning, and afterwards, as they ate their midday meal, the sergeant and Jim discussed the case.
It was Jeff, Sergeant. If he didn't do it himself, he hired someone to do it.
You said he was smart. I can't arrest him, Jim. His alibi's too good.
Those friends of his would swear to anything. Now, there's an outside door in that back room of the Monte Carlo. He could have slipped out for a few minutes.
Yes, I know, Jim. But then we come to another question. How do you know where to find Matt? And what was Matt doing on the edge of town during a blizzard? Was he leaving town? Was he... What's the matter, King?
Does he want to go out?
No. I think there's someone at the door.
Well, nobody knocked. I'll see. Hey, Marie, come back. Did you want to see me?
No, it is better if I do not.
What kind of talk is that? Now, come on in here.
All right. I will. But it is the sergeant I must talk to.
Well, he's right here. Oh, Sergeant, this is Marie Fontaine.
How do you do?
Bonjour, monsieur.
Now, sit down, Marie, and make yourself comfortable.
Merci.
You seem to be worried about something.
I am, monsieur. I'm afraid.
Well, you don't have to be afraid of the sergeant.
It is about my husband.
Has something happened to him?
Yes. No, I do not know what to say.
Well, Marie, just tell the sergeant whatever it is that's troubling you. It's his job to help people.
That's true, Marie.
But Pierre made me promise to say nothing. And yet I feel that he is wrong. It is not right to know such things and keep them a secret.
To know what things?
My husband is the watchman at the warehouse.
Marie, it's something about last night. Something about the murder. You know who did it?
No, monsieur, I do not.
But your husband does.
He has gone away. He is afraid he will be killed if it is known that he knows. A man who will shoot once will shoot twice.
Marie, if you have any information at all, it's your duty to tell me. I'm an officer of the law, and I'm here to protect you.
That is what I believe, monsieur.
Tell me, then.
Pierre was in the warehouse when the shot was fired.
Yes?
Even above the noise of the storm, he heard it, and he ran to the door and opened it. He saw a man lying in the snow, and kneeling beside him is another man. He lights a match, and for a second, Pierre can see his face. It is a short time only, and the match is blown out.
Who was that man?
I do not know.
Pierre knew him?
He would not tell me who he was, though.
Go on. What else did he say?
The man disappeared in the storm.
Pierre went to the man lying in the snow. He was dead. Pierre locked the warehouse and came home to me. He was afraid that if he said nothing of what he saw, the police might arrest him for the murder. And if he told the truth, the other man might kill him. It seemed to him best that he'd go away.
Where, Marie? Where's he gone?
To 40 miles.
You're sure?
I was to stay here and find out what happened. Then I was to join him there.
What does Pierre look like?
Well, he's kind of small, Sergeant. Dark curly hair and mustache.
Pierre Fontaine.
That's right.
What was he wearing, Marie?
The clothes for the trail.
What kind of a parka?
It is made of deerskin.
We'll find him, and we'll bring him back. Don't say anything about this to anyone, Marie.
Oh, no.
And don't worry. No one's going to hurt your husband.
Please let it be so, monsieur.
Let's go, King. We're hitting the trail.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. You know, big game hunters may go for a special high-powered rifle when it comes to shooting elephants or lions or tigers. But say, let me tell you about another kind of gun that everyone goes for. It's the gun that shoots Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. Yes, sirree. When you've a big day ahead, long hours at school or playing football or games, you need to stow away a good breakfast. So tomorrow, start the day by eating a heaping bowl full of Quaker puffed wheat or rice with plenty of milk and fruit. These nutritious, delicious, ready-to-serve cereals furnish extra food values, restored natural grain amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron. What's more, they're really keen-tasting. They're shot from guns to make them crisp and tender. Yes, these giant-size, king-size grains of premium wheat or rice are actually exploded up to 8 times normal size to make them bigger and better tasting. That's why Quaker puffed rice and wheat are so popular with so many He-Men Hollywood movie stars. Ask Mom for wheat or rice shot from guns. Remember, it's never sold in bags or bulk. Always buy the famous big Quaker red and blue package to get the original crisp, fresh Quaker puffed wheat and Quaker puffed rice. Now to continue our story. A few minutes after Sergeant Preston heard the end of Marie's story, the dog team was harnessed and he was driving out of town in the direction of 40 Mile. Lefty Wade, one of Jeff Martin's cronies, saw him leave. He saw Marie and Jim standing in the doorway of Jim's cabin, and a few minutes later he stopped the woman as she walked down the street toward her own cabin.
Howdy, Marie. Where's the sergeant going?
I think it is the direction of Dawson he takes.
Oh, you're wrong. He's heading north.
Oh, that is true.
Seems to be in a big hurry.
Maybe. You must excuse me. I am in a big hurry.
Well, I'll just walk along with you. Have a talk with Pierre.
No, you cannot.
Why?
He is not at home.
Well, I'll come along and wait for him.
It will do you no good. He is out of town.
Didn't think I'd seen him around today.
He is not here. Excusez-moi.
Yeah, sure.
Lefty watched Marie as she walked on down the street. Then he headed for the Monte Carlo, where he found Jeff standing at the bar.
Hey, Jeff, let's sit down and bag. It's important.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all right. Sit down.
What are you so nervous about?
I just saw the Monty drive out of town.
Yeah? You mean for good?
I don't think it's for good at all. Marie Fontaine was over at Jim Henley's cabin where he's been staying.
Whatever.
Maybe she gave him a tip.
About what? Marie doesn't know anything.
Pierre's the watchman at the warehouse. He must have been there last night.
I tell you, nobody saw him.
Yeah, but how can you be sure, Jeff? Pierre isn't at home. He's out of town.
And he wasn't at the warehouse. How could he see me?
He was here all day yesterday, and I want to know why he cleared out. Doesn't look good to me, Jeff. If Pierre saw you and the Monty's gone after him, then you'd better...
Better what?
Well...
Run away, I suppose, huh?
It might be safer.
I'll decide that for myself.
All right. It's your funeral.
I'll find out how the cards lay before I throw in my hand. Now, you get Marie and take her up to Old Town.
Huh?
You heard me.
What do you want with her up there?
I want to find out how much she knows.
Oh, she won't come with me.
You can persuade her. Take her to the old dance hall. The boys and I'll be waiting for you there.
Okay.
With King breaking the trail, Sergeant Preston made the trip to 40 Mile in a little over 2 hours. It took him another hour to find Pierre and persuade the Frenchman that he must return to Gold Flats and tell the truth about what he had seen.
Pierre, decent, law-abiding citizens like you will never be safe unless you do everything you can to put criminals where they belong.
But no, Sergeant. I think of Minority.
Who was the man you saw, Pierre? Tell me and I'll arrest him. He'll go to jail, he'll be tried for murder, and he'll be convicted. Who was it?
It was Jeff Martin.
And you'll testify to that in court?
I will tell the truth about what I saw.
Good.
We will start for Gold Flats in the morning.
We'll start this minute.
It will soon be night.
King knows the trail, don't you, boy? You'll get us there fast, won't you? Come on, Pierre.
The early dusk of the Northland overtook them on the trail a few miles outside of 40 Mile. But then the moon rose, and the northern lights sweeping across the sky made the night like day. The miles flew by. And when the flats were reached, the sergeant called to the team to halt in front of Pierre's cabin.
The cabin is dark. She is not here.
Make sure, Pierre. She may be waiting in Jim's place.
Marie? Marie? No, she's not here.
Come along, then. We'll find her at Jim's.
I hope so.
All set?
Oui.
Untie! On your feet!
There was a light in Jim's window, but there was no answer to the sergeant's knock. The door was unlocked, however, and when he and Pierre and King entered the cabin, they saw a note propped up by the oil lamp on the table.
I wonder where he could have gone.
The paper does not say?
Yes, it does. Who's Lefty Wade, Pierre?
He's a friend of Jeff Martin's.
I remember now. He's one of the men who said that Jeff didn't leave the back room at the Monte Carlo last night.
They are all crooks. What is it you have read about Lefty Wade?
Bad news. Listen. Saw Marie leaving town with Lefty Wade heading for the hills. I'm following them.
The hills? They have taken a prisoner.
What's in the hills? Where were they going?
There's nothing but the old town. No one lives there now. It's a place where Jeff Martin might go.
Your wife doesn't know it was Jeff who shot Matt.
It does not matter. They will kill her.
I don't think so, Pierre. Not when they realize she knows so little. I'm going after her.
And I too must come.
No, Pierre. You must stay here. As soon as I leave, bar the door and don't let anyone in until I get back.
My wife. You will promise to bring her back?
I promise. All right, King.
It was at just about that moment when Jim Hanley reached the old town. The place seemed to be completely deserted, but the tracks of the sled he had been following led to the dance hall. With his gun ready, Jim drove directly up to it.
Whoa! Whoa!
He climbed the steps cautiously and crossed the wide veranda. Only a few short years ago, this building had been the center of a boom town. Now it was a ghostly shell. Not a light shone anywhere. And yet Jim knew that somewhere close. He tried the door. It opened. He stepped inside. It was too dark for him to see anything. He struck a match.
All right, Ben. Get him.
No, you don't.
He's got a gun.
Ah, yes, I've got it. What do we do with him?
Tie his hands behind his back. How about some light now?
Sure, light the lamp.
Where's Marie? What have you done with her?
Don't worry about her. You better worry about yourself.
What's the idea of following me up here?
Where is she?
She's where you nor anybody else will find her. Not till we get good and ready to let her go.
Tighten up those knots, Joe.
Yeah. Crooks, the lot here.
I don't mind you saying it, as long as you can't prove it. We keep Marie here to make sure Pierre doesn't talk. The sergeant's little trip to 40 Mile won't do him any good.
You made her tell you.
That is easy. She doesn't like to be hurt.
Well, you can't win. You're going to jail, every one of you.
For what?
For robbery and murder.
Hasn't he talked enough?
Let him. I want him to. I suppose you left word where you were going.
Yes, I did. And it won't be long before the sergeant gets here.
We'll be waiting for him. Joe, you and Pete stand guard out in front. You'll be able to see him coming up the trail just like you saw Jim. Now take your rifles and let him have it.
Right.
But when the sergeant reached a point on the trail where he could see the ghost town, He realized that to show himself on the open slope below would make him a perfect target. He stopped the team.
Okay. Hold on.
King was relieved. His sure instinct told him there was danger lurking in the silent buildings. He also knew that such a threat would never stop his master when there was work to be done. But this stop meant they would proceed with caution.
The night's too bright to keep on going this way, King.
There was another way, though. Half a mile to the east, a wooded draw led to the top of the ridge. The ridge itself was wooded, and it was possible to travel along it until a point was reached just above the town.
The back way looks better to me, boy.
The sergeant left the team behind and started for the draw with King. It was hard forcing their way through the tangled underbrush to the top of the draw, and the climb took them nearly half an hour. Travel was easier on the top of the ridge, but here the firs grew close together, and neither the moon nor the aurora could penetrate the darkness.
Hard to see, but we can be sure they can't see us.
At last, a point was reached directly above and behind the dance hall. The sergeant started down toward it, but unaccountably, King held back.
No, what? Something wrong, boy?
King had found a freshly made trail, and he felt that the sergeant should investigate it.
Yes, King. Footprints.
Sergeant knelt down, examining them closely with the aid of a shielded match.
Some of these were made by a woman, and they're headed up the slope. All right, King, let's follow it. Go on.
King started up with the sergeant directly behind him. A few minutes later, a glimmer of light showed through the trees.
A cabin.
The cabin was so completely hidden by the trees that it couldn't be seen more than 20 feet away. Silently, the sergeant and King advanced toward the single window. The sergeant looked inside. The faint beam of a candle lit the face of a man who was dozing as he sat with his feet propped on the table.
This is going to be easy, King.
A dark form could be seen lying on the floor.
Let's hope we're not too late.
The sergeant threw open the door of the cabin.
Up with your hands. I'll take your gun.
What's the idea?
You're under arrest in the name of the Queen.
You can't arrest me.
If you don't think so, these handcuffs should prove it.
I haven't done anything.
We'll see what Mrs. Fontaine has to say about that. I'll take this gag out first, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Now I'll get your ropes.
I thought every minute they were going to kill me.
Have you seen Jim?
He was coming up the slope toward the town. They were waiting for him. They took me away before he got there. I do not know what they did to him, but I have heard no shooting. Thank you.
I'll help you up.
Merci.
Where was it they were waiting for Jim?
In the dance hall. Just and left his own feet. This is the one they call Butch.
I'll tie him up before I leave. You'll have to wait here until I get back, Marie.
You go to the dance hall?
Yes.
But it would be 4 against 1.
4 against 2. You're forgetting King. We'll try not to let them know we're coming.
There is something you should see here. Under the table, Sergeant, there is a box.
Oh?
I saw it as I was lying on the floor. It is the kind of box the express company uses to ship gold. I have seen them many times.
There's nothing in that box.
Which means there must be.
There it is, Sergeant.
Good work, Marie. This is the gold they stole.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
But Matt Barrett did.
That's right.
And he wasn't satisfied with his share.
It wasn't that. He wanted to leave town. He wanted his split, and Jeff said no. He started up here after it. All the gold's there, Sergeant. Jeff wouldn't let us touch an ounce of it.
Oh?
Well, I mean,
So you didn't have anything to do with it?
I didn't. I was up here on the night of the robbery.
You can explain that to the judge. Now I'm going to tie your feet and gag you.
In a few minutes, Butch was lying helpless on the floor. The sergeant and King retraced their steps down the wooded slope of the ridge. The rear of the dance hall was in deep shadow from the trees, and it was impossible for the sergeant to see if there were any guards posted there. But from King's reactions, he knew the coast must be clear. The rear door was ajar, sagging on its hinges. The sergeant opened it a little more. The rusty hinges protested. The sergeant and King stopped, but the sound evidently hadn't been heard. Then they stepped inside into a narrow hallway. 10 feet from the door, a stairway led to the second floor. As the sergeant and King were passing it, they heard voices.
I heard something out the back. Take a look, Lefty. Okay.
Swiftly, the sergeant and King climbed the stairs. Around the turn at the top, a closed door barred their way, and they waited. Steps echoed in the hallway below them.
What is it, Lefty? Just the door. It's broken. The wind blew it open.
The sergeant opened the door at the head of the stairs, and he and King entered a small room. A stove glowed in one corner. The sergeant could see an old desk, an oil lamp standing on it, and 2 broken-down chairs. With his hand on King's head, he started for the other door. The great dog understood the need for quiet. The door opened onto a balcony that overlooked the large central room of the dance hall. The faint light from a lamp turned very low left most of the room in complete darkness. Then the front door opened, and a man was silhouetted against the moonlight.
Yep. No sign of him. How long does Pete and I have to stay out here?
Until he comes.
All night?
If necessary, tuck it back there.
No need for me to stay down here.
We'll need everybody.
You can call me when you see him. I'm going up to the office and get more.
The sergeant and King slipped back into the office and closed the door. A moment later, Lefty reached the top of the stairs leading up to the balcony from the dance hall. He walked along the balcony to the office and opened the door. The sergeant and King were hidden by it. Lefty started toward the stove. With the odds 4-1 against him, this was no time for the sergeant to use gentle methods, and he brought the butt of his gun down hard. The sergeant caught Lefty's sagging body and lowered it to the floor. Then he snapped his extra pair of handcuffs around the man's wrists.
Quiet, boy. That's only one of them.
The sergeant rose and turned toward the door. King couldn't help whimpering. There was a man outside on the balcony. Jeff had come up the stairs after Lefty.
What's the matter, King?
The door opened.
What the?
You're covered, Jeff. You're under arrest in the name of the Queen.
Oh, you won't get me.
After him, King.
Jeff ran for the stairs with King and the sergeant following. But he missed his footing on the first step and started falling. As Jeff yelled, Joe and Pete charged into the dance hall.
Jeff, what's the matter?
Don't move, you two. You're covered.
Sergeant Preston.
Up your guns or I'll shoot.
Okay, you got it.
Stay right where you are. You can't see me, but I can see you. One move and I shoot.
Okay.
The sergeant descended the stairs. At the bottom, he stepped over Jeff's still form. King was standing guard beside him. The sergeant found the table. With one hand, turned up the lamp, which had been burning low.
Who's that lying in the corner?
Jim Hanley.
Untie him. Get that gag off.
Yeah, sure.
A few minutes later, Jim was free and was holding a gun on Joe and Pete. The sergeant knelt over Jeff.
I don't know where Marie is, Sergeant.
She's in the cabin up above here.
You all right?
Yes. The man who was guarding her is bound and gagged.
You hear that, boys? That's what happens to galoots like you when you tangle with the Northwest Mounted.
Are you men still saying that Jeff did not leave the cafe last night?
Well, we didn't...
Butch has already confessed. If you try to protect Jeff, you'll be a party to his crimes.
No. We didn't have anything to do with it. He went after Matt all by himself.
That's better.
How about Jeff, Sergeant? Is he dead?
Dead? No, Jim. Just knocked out. He'll live to answer for what he's done. You don't have to worry about him anymore, King. The case is closed.
In just a moment, Sergeant Preston will give you a preview of Friday's program. Hey, here's something new and different, too. Hurry, start collecting colorful college pennants or flags of your favorite big-time football teams or schools. Yes, now you can get authentic flags of famous colleges like Notre Dame, California, Army, and Pennsylvania. A special new series of 48 swell color cutouts are out just in time for the football season. You get them only with Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the swell-tasting breakfast cereals shot from guns. These college pennants or flags are right on the backs of packages of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Rice now at your grocer's. They're yours at no extra cost. Don't miss out. Don't miss out either on the big news. You will hear it soon on this very program. Tell your pals to listen. You're going to have a chance to get a dream prize of a lifetime. So don't be left out. These radio dramas, a feature of the Challenge of the Yukon Incorporated, are created and produced by George W. Trendle, directed by Fred Flowerday, and supervised by Charles D. Livingston. The part of Sergeant Preston is played by Paul Sutton. They are brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this same time by Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns. Listen Friday when Sergeant Preston and Yukon King meet the Challenge of the Yukon in the adventure of Find the Body.
We have another exciting story for you on Friday. It's about one of my pals, another Mountie, who disappeared. Inspector Conrad was sure he'd been murdered. Without any facts, I was given the assignment of solving the case. When King and I hit the trail, we headed straight into trouble. It was nip and tuck from then on, a story you won't want to miss.
Be sure to hear this exciting story Friday. Till then, this is J. Michael wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker puffed rice. So long. For a delicious hot breakfast, eat Quaker Oats. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Yes, the giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Delicious, nutritious, makes you feel ambitious. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Say, boys and girls, do you want to be a star someday in sports and activities? Then start on good Quaker Oats breakfast tomorrow. Because nourishing oatmeal gives you more growth and more endurance than any other whole grain cereal. Still costs less than 1 penny a serving. Quaker and Mother's Oats are the same. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Daddy!
Snooks, I thought you were going to sit quietly and do that crossword puzzle.
I'm stuck, Daddy.
All right, what's sticking you?
What's a 5-letter word for slap?
Smack.
And a 5-letter word for expand.
Expand?
Mm-hmm.
How about swell? Will that fit?
Fine, Daddy. Smack and swell. Now, a 3-letter word meaning in what manner?
Let's see that puzzle.
Yes.
Begins with H. How?
How?
Yes. And 29 across is scoff.
Why?
Because it says to ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
32 down, devour. That's eat. 14 across, duration. Well, that's easy. It's time. There you are. All done.
I done it quick, didn't I, Daddy?
You did. I gave you 6 words.
What 6 words?
Right there. Smack, swell, how, scoff, eat, and time.
Say 'em fast, Daddy.
Smack, swell, house, coffee time. So it is. Turn on that radio, quick.
All right, Daddy.
It's a good thing I brought along this little portable radio, isn't it, Snooks?
Why?
Well, we can listen to the program while we're waiting for the train.
I want to go home.
Home? You drove me crazy to bring you with me. Now you want to go home.
Where are we going, Daddy?
I've told you 50 times. We're going to Uncle Camembert's house in the mountains.
Does Uncle Camembert want to be there?
No. The poor old codger's passed on. He's gone to a better world. I hope.
When is he coming back?
He's never coming back, Snooks. He's left this vale of tears for good.
Oh. Shall we cry, Daddy?
I don't think it's necessary. He was 92 when he died, and he lived a pretty full and eventful life.
Did he leave his shoes?
His shoes? I suppose so.
I want to see his shoes.
What for?
I heard you tell Mama he was well heeled.
That has nothing to do with his shoes. Now, don't repeat everything you hear.
Well, why are we going to his house?
It happens to be my house now.
Mm.
He left it to me in his will.
You said he was going to leave you a lot of money, Daddy.
Well, I guessed wrong. Nobody got any of his money.
Mm.
In fact, they can't even find a trace of it.
Maybe he didn't have any.
Oh, he had plenty. There's a possibility that he stashed it away somewhere in this house. That's the main reason I'm going up there.
I'm hungry.
Well, I'll buy you a sandwich as soon as we get on the train.
I'm hungry.
Now, don't start that.
What's that, Daddy?
It's a train whistle.
I want one.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You can't have a train whistle.
Why?
Because you can't. Look across the tracks there. See the man working under the train?
Is it our train?
No, that's a milk train.
Is he milking it?
Yeah, he's milking it.
I want some milk.
Listen, I tell you what. I have to go to the ticket office and find out if we can get a train back tonight. You go over to that telephone and call Dick Powell. Tell him we won't be at the studio.
All right. What's the number?
Hollywood 6161. Mm-hmm. Dial H, then O, then 6. Oh, I'll get it, Dick. Hello?
Hello? Is Mr. Powell there?
Just a minute. It's for you, Dick. I think it's Snooks. I wonder what she wants. Well, I'll kid her a little. Hello? This is the world's greatest singer talking.
Excuse me, I got the wrong number.
Wait a minute. This is Dick Powell. What's the matter?
We're at the railroad station and we're going to take a train.
What for?
You see, where Uncle Camembert stashed his heels.
What?
now, Daddy? What's she talking about?
Oh, my Uncle Camembert will be his house in the mountains, and we... Holy smoke, here's my train. I can't talk anymore, Dick. You'll hear from us later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What's up, Dick?
I don't know. Seems they're going to spend the night at his Uncle Camembert's house in the mountains.
Well, Snooks, here we are.
Where's Uncle Camembert's house?
Oh, it's about a quarter of a mile down the road. Pretty gloomy here, isn't it?
Home, go home.
We'll have to stay at the house overnight.
Why?
Because there are no more trains until morning. Oh, I sure hate to walk to the house. Wish there was some... Say, there's a man with a horse and buggy.
Where?
Coming down the road. Maybe he'll give us a lift. Hello there.
Oh, Sally.
Can you give us a lift, brother?
You bet. Climb board, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Is he your brother, Daddy?
No. Come on, I'll help you get up on the wagon. Put the radio down gently. All right, Snooks. Put your foot in the spoke.
What spoke?
The wheel spoke.
I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, step on that wheel. Come on. Up there.
Are you set, sister?
I'm set, brother.
Get up, Sally.
It's getting dark, Daddy.
Well, we'll be there in a minute.
Say, where be you heading for?
The old Higgins house.
Oh, Sally. Did you say the Higgins house?
That's right.
Old Camembert's place?
Yes.
Giddy up, Sally.
What's the matter, Daddy?
I don't know. He gave us a very queer look. Say, brother, I'm the new owner of the house. Camembert was my uncle.
Oh, Sally. You say you own the house?
Yes. My
Get
uncle.
up.
My uncle willed it to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Get up there. Didn't hear you.
He scared me, Daddy.
Anything wrong with the house, neighbor?
Ain't saying there is and ain't saying there ain't.
Oh. Well, there's no train back this evening, and we have to spend the night there.
Eh?
I say we have to spend the night there.
Oh, Sally.
Oh, Sally.
Say, wouldn't stay there if I was you.
Why not?
You believe in ghosts?
Nonsense.
Get up! Shame to stunt the little girl's growth.
Is there ghosts there, Daddy?
No, he said ghosts.
What's ghosts?
Ghosts are supposed to be supernatural beings, spirit bodies of departed persons. It's a lot of twaddle.
Is it?
Why, certainly. You know, I heard a good joke about ghosts yesterday. Two ghosts were sitting on a bed when suddenly they heard a noise.
Well, that's awful funny, Daddy.
I'm not finished yet.
Oh.
Suddenly they heard a noise. And one ghost turned to the other and said, "Do you believe in ghosts?"
There you got it. Oh, Sally. Here's the house.
Oh. It's a bleak-looking place, isn't it? Well, come on, Snooks. Don't forget the radio.
I got it, Daddy.
There we are. Thanks a lot, brother.
Shame to stunt the little girl's growth. Yeah.
Well, let's go in.
Put the lights on, Daddy.
Just a second. I'll light a match and find the switch. No electricity here.
What's that, Daddy?
Just the wind.
Oh.
Blew the door shut.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of candles on that sideboard. You bring them over here.
I want to go home.
Don't be silly. As soon as I light these candles, you'll feel better. There.
Let me hold one.
Okay. We won't be able to see much tonight. Let's find the bedroom and go to sleep. Follow me.
Daddy.
What is it?
Uncle Louie's here.
Where?
In that room.
What are you talking about? Where's Uncle Louie?
There he is, looking through the hole in the wall.
That's not Uncle Louie. That's a moose head.
Oh.
Come on. let's find the bedroom. This broken-down joint gives me the creeps. Don't let your candle go out.
Why?
Because I haven't got any more matches. Now, come on.
Mm-hmm. Daddy!
What is it?
The wind blew my candle out.
I told you to be careful. Oops. Dropped mine, too. Now we haven't got a light at all. I'll just stand still a few seconds until your eyes become accustomed to the darkness. Stop poking me in the leg, Snooks.
I'm way over here, Daddy.
Oh, it's just the corner of this table. Stand where you are. I'll come and get you. Here, take my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a door here. Well, follow me. Now, let me feel around a minute. Oh, here's a couch. Now, you lie down, Snooks. I'll cover you with my coat.
Where are you going to sleep, Daddy?
I'll rest on the floor. Now, try and go right to sleep. Good night.
Good night. Daddy!
Now, what is it?
My toe hurts.
Oh, which toe?
The youngest one. It hurts me.
What's the matter with it?
It hurts every time I pinch it.
Well, don't pinch it.
Then how can I tell if it hurts?
Oh, go to sleep.
I'm scared. Put the lights on.
There aren't any lights here, and I have no matches. Now, just go to sleep. I'm here with you.
Well, you put on the radio.
No. Go to sleep. Sorry I ever came to this musty joint.
Daddy.
What do you want?
Tell me a story.
No.
Tell me a ghost story.
Aye.
Yes.
That'd be just the thing for a night like this.
Then tell me about Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, all right. I'll tell it quickly and no interruptions. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack. He lived
Jack
with...
who?
Just Jack.
That's it.
He lived with his mother, and they were very poor. But she was always good to him. And
Good to who, Daddy?
Good to Jack. She was...
Who was?
His mother.
Whose mother?
Jack's mother! Now, don't interrupt me anymore, or I won't finish the story.
No, I'll finish it, Daddy.
All right. There was something with a cow, then something else, and then somehow he got some beans. For the cow, I think.
The cow ate the beans?
No.
The beans ate the cow?
Nobody ate anything.
Why?
Keep quiet.
I like it better when we're talking, Daddy.
Yes. I wish we had a light here.
Yeah, I wish we did.
Anyhow, when Jack brought home the beans, his mother threw them out of the window. And in the morning, when Jack woke up, he saw... Snooks!
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were all right.
What did Jack see, Daddy?
Oh, a great big beanstalk.
Beanstalk?
He climbed up the beanstalk and found himself in a strange land. Pretty soon, he came to the castle of a giant. And, I'll tell the rest of the story tomorrow morning.
No, why?
Well, because this part of the story about the giant is pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
It might make you have unpleasant dreams.
Well, finish your story.
No. All right. But if you get scared, don't blame me. So Jack broke into the giant's castle and found himself in a damp, dark dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
The place was full of cobwebs and weird little animals and bats. See, you're afraid.
No, I ain't. I liked it.
And why did you cry?
I started to laugh, but I remembered my toe hurt. Finish it, Daddy.
All right. Well, Jack felt around the walls, and he was shaking from head to foot. Pretty soon, from out of the blackness, he heard a terrible sound. Thump, thump, thump. Cold sweat broke out on Snooks.
Huh?
Did you hear anything when I said thump? Well, maybe you'd better turn on the radio.
Are you scared, Daddy?
I know.
But we'll be able to listen to the last part of the Maxwell House coffee program. It'll be comforting.
I want to go to sleep.
Okay. I'll turn it on very softly. Good night, Snooks.
Good night, Daddy.
Snooks. Sleeping like a log. Kid's got absolutely no nerves. Oh, when will the morning come? Oh, what a night. And Uncle Camembert had to will me this broken-down shack. I can't stand this any longer. Snooks.
Huh?
I don't want you to be frightened, so let's sit up for a while and play a game.
I ain't frightened, Daddy.
I know, but you might get frightened. And there's no sense lying awake all night.
I was fast asleep, Daddy.
Well, you needn't be so disagreeable. Oh, come on. Let's pass the time. I know a good game.
All right.
It's called Knock Knock. I say to you, knock knock, and you say, who's there? Then I say Howard or something, and you say, Howard who? Then I say, how would you like to go home?
I'd like it fine, Daddy. Let's go.
It's just a game. We can't get out of here until morning. Now, come on, let's play. Ready?
Ready?
Okay. Knock knock. Oh, don't you knock. Just say, who's there?
I didn't knock, Daddy.
Huh? Oh. Guess my imagination is playing tricks. All right. Knock, knock.
I heard it, Daddy.
Yes. Knock, knock.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, who's there?
It's Max.
Max who?
It's Maxwell House coffee time.
Oh.